presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
The Minnesota Twins are in town tonight, and for the Tigers, that is absolutely outstanding news. Since the start of 2016, the Tigers are 21-7 against Minnesota. Hopefully they'll continue that dominance tonight. Nice night for baseball. Welcome to Comerica Park. Game 1 in this series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 1 in this weekend series. And Rod, the Twins come to town, and this is a team the Tigers the last couple of years have been beaten up on pretty good.
You know, regardless of how the Tigers are playing when the Twins show up, the Tigers play their best baseball. They do everything well against the Minnesota Twins, and they're going to have to do that in the next 3 days because Minnesota right now clicking on all cylinders, one of the hottest teams in all of baseball.
Yeah, they won 5 in a row, and one of the key figures in their lineup, Brian Dozier, but we kind of expected that because he's been pretty much a second-half player.
Well, this guy the last 3 years, he's done a major damage as far as the home runs are concerned, scoring runs and doing damage at that second base position for the Minnesota Twinkies. Take a look at the home runs. 37 since the second half of last year. First in home runs, extra base hits as well, RBI as well. This is just the second half. I don't know what Brian Dozier does in the first half, but he really shows up in the second half of the season. And something else he's really started to do well, which has made him a much better player. He is starting to hit the ball the other way with a little bit of authority, so we'll watch for that here tonight against the Minnesota Twins. Very talented second baseman, but he's not the only one that's hot. Polanco and Buxton are also hot right now.
Good team right now, the Twins. We'll see what happens here in Game 1 after a short break. We'll send you to the Call Sam Studios, and we'll check in with John Keating coming up in this one tonight. How about Mikey Matza? He has been red hot. Mikey has been on the mark. 400 over his last 6 games. Stay with us. Tigers Twins next. Kyle Gibson back on July 22nd, and it didn't go badly for him, but they had just traded for another starter. And Gibson was sent down to AAA right after that game for the second time this year. John Keating with a quick pop back into the Call Sam studio. The aforementioned starter, Jaime Garcia, was then subsequently flipped to the Yankees, and when that happened, Gibson was summoned back. He's back in the Twins rotation. He will be opposed by Anibal Sanchez in Game 1 of the weekend here tonight. Nick Castellanos will hit 5th in support of Sanchez in the Tigers tonight. He's looking to get those long legs going again. Thursday, Castellanos hit his 9th triple of the season. That leads the American League. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Ram, make the most of your summer at the Ram Summer Clearance event going on now. Added Game 1 of this series, University Days here at the ballpark. MSU is in the house tonight, and so is Anibal Sanchez. He is presented this evening by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, Anibal wants to turn the page from his last outing 5 days ago in Baltimore. Probably his worst outing of the year. He lasted just 3 innings, gave up 8 runs, 5 home runs in that game, but he has had a lot of success against Minnesota in his career.
Here is the lineup he will face tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be the dangerous Brian Dozier leading it off. He'll play second, followed by Kepler and Mauer. Sano is batting cleanup, and Rosario, Escobar, Buxton, Polanco, and Castro, your bottom three, and Polanco has been hot for the Minnesota Twins. We are ready for baseball here. Game one in this three-game weekend series. Tigers and the Twins before the Tigers hit the road to Texas. And Brian Dozier steps in for Minnesota. Here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's popped up right side of the infield. Kinsler backing up to the grass. And one pitch, one out.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Brian Dozier. Let's take a peek at the Tigers' defensive alignment while we have a moment. In the outfield, they've got Justin Upton in left, and Mikey Matuk, he would be in center field. Andrew Romine in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera round out the infield, and James McCann, your starting catcher tonight. A beautiful Friday night downtown.
Here is Max Kepler in the two spot for the Twins. Showing bunt. Strike one on Kepler.
This Minnesota Twins team right now clicking on all cylinders. They've won 5 games in a row. They're doing everything right. And clutch hitting, hitting home runs, running the bases, playing good defense. Paul Molitor has his team playing some really good baseball.
Bouncing ball up the middle. And it'll be Castellanos to throw him out. And there are 2 gone.
Nice start so far for Anibal Sanchez.
Here is the weather situation tonight at the ballpark. There was a lot of rain that fell here earlier today, but right now it is gorgeous. 81 degrees and partly cloudy overhead. Fans still settling into their seats here at the ballpark as Joe Mauer settles into the batter's box.
And for the most part, Joe Mauer will take at least 1 strike. Most pitchers in the majors know that. There are times where he will swing at the first pitch, but not very often.
Strike one to Mauer.
Therefore, you could just throw that first pitch fastball right down the middle, as Anibal Sanchez did.
273, 5 home runs this year. Sanchez looking to bounce back after a really rocky start in Baltimore, in which he gave up 5 home runs, I should say. 10 hits, 8 runs. One of those nights, and I think Anibal said it best after the game. This is the wrong ballpark and the wrong lineup to Mr. Spot Zone.
Absolutely.
0-2. And Mauer looks at a ball outside. 1-2 the count on the Twins first baseman.
And you can see how Matuk in center field and also Jay Up in left field kind of play Joe Mauer. He gets a lot of base hits to left field. Therefore, both guys are shading him in the left center field and left field.
Way outside, 2-2. Well, the Twins were not playing good baseball heading into the trading deadline, so they decided to trade Jaime Garcia, who they had just acquired, and their closer Brandon Kinsler away. And all of a sudden, they're right in the thick of things. They've been on a roll. Popped up foul down the left field line.
It's a team right now, Mario, because their general manager did trade away their closer and one of their starting pitchers right at the trade deadline. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I mean, they've won 5 games in a row. They've playing some outstanding baseball, and they're only a half a game out of a wild card right now. Does he go back and get some more starting pitching now?
Well, he's got till the end of the month. Here's the 2-2. Drilled toward right field, but straight at Romine. Going to drop in right in front of him. It's a 2-out single for Mauer.
Mauer continues to swing a hot stick. He had 3 hits yesterday and starts off the evening with a base hit to right. Joe Mauer's just got that real nice, easy swing. Very little movement.
Here is Miguel Sano. 25 homers this year for Sano. And a solid 270 batting average. Tried to hold up, he went around, strike one.
Miguel Sano made an all-star team this year, having a wonderful season, but he will swing and miss quite often. He leads the American League with 154 strikeouts. Easily on pace for 200 again this year.
That'll get back into the seats.
Usually when they are able to strike Sano out, they make him chase breaking balls off the plate. We'll see if Anibal tries that. We all know that Sanchez in his last outings since he's come back from the minor leagues, he's thrown that changeup quite a bit. But we'll see how they attack Sano here.
Missed it up high.
And it looked like they tried to hit one of the cold zones of Sano. He doesn't have many. But you can get him, like most big right-handed hitters, you can get him out at the top of the strike zone. You can also get him down at the bottom of the strike zone away.
Sano recently was hit in the hand by a pitch. It was nothing more than a bruise. They had an MRI done to make sure. Swung on and missed, and down he goes. That'll be it for the Twins. No runs, a single, and one man left. Presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers tonight, it'll be Ian Kinsler to get things started, followed by Matuk at the 2-hole, then Jay up. Cabrera playing first base, Castellanos, then Martinez. Your bottom three, McCann, Romine, Iglesias, and Nick has been hot over his last 6. Meanwhile, they will face Kyle Gibson tonight. He is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Last time the Tigers saw Kyle Gibson a few weeks ago, it was in Minnesota. He pitched a season-high 7 1/3. Got the win and gave up just 3 runs to the Tigers, but overall in his career, he has not had a lot of success against Detroit bats.
Here is Kinsler getting things started. Ian swinging on the first, fouls it back.
And Gibson has a fastball that will probably top out at about 94 here tonight, but mostly 90 to 91 with a really good sinker. He throws quite a few sliders. He likes his curveball as well, and he will throw a changeup. So he pretty much mixes up all of his off-speed pitches, slider, curve, and the changeup.
Ian batting .247, 11 home runs, was 3 out of 8 in the just completed series here against the Pirates. Tigers played 2 in Pittsburgh, 2 here, and lost 3 out of the 4. Shadow still covering much of the infield, some sunlight. Gibson now with the 0-2. Ian drills one foul to left field.
And Gibson has one of those real simple deliveries. He's a tall guy, and so he doesn't have a whole lot of moving parts. And we're starting to see more and more of this type of windup and delivery in the major leagues, especially with guys that are tall. It just kind of helps you keep everything gathered and under control, keeps your head still on the target, and allows you to throw strikes more efficiently.
That'll bounce in. Well, Gibson qualifies as tall. He goes 6'6", 216.
And he throws from a high 3/4 arm slot. And when he gets on top, he throws that ball straight downhill and gets tons of ground balls when he's going good.
Now the 1-2. Yeah, he's been able to gather quite a few double play balls. In fact, he's induced 11 in his last 12 starts.
And we might see some Tigers on the move today because of that fact. They've got their energy squad out there today. Romine can run, Matuk can run, Ian can run.
Fouled away.
Heck of an at bat here.
First inning advantage brings you the matchup, pitcher batter matchup between Kinsler and Gibson, and Ian's been pretty good, 324. A couple of extra base hits against Gibson, who has a high ERA overall against the Tigers.
Ian's already seen 6 pitches, so he has a pretty good idea of what Kyle Gibson's featuring tonight.
Popped him up. First base side, the first baseman Mauer in foul ground, 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Twins starting defense. It is presented to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they've got Rosario, Buxton, and Kepler. Young athletic outfield. They all throw very well. Escobar, Polanco, Dozier, Joe Mauer round out the infield, and Jason Castro in his first year as a Minnesota Twin and a really good receiver is their catcher tonight.
Here is one of the hotter Tigers. That would be Mikey Matuk, who was 4 for 9 against the Pirates. Really, since the beginning of June, he has not slowed down. He has been well over 300 the last couple of months.
About 333 since June 1st with a lot of extra base damage.
And it seems like everything off his bat really has a high exit velocity. I mean, he is making solid contact.
I think what we're seeing is what a lot of scouts saw in Mikey Matuk when they made him a #1 draft choice. The Tampa Bay Rays did out of LSU. He was a tools guy. He could run, he could throw, he could hit for power. And we're starting to see all that here now in the big leagues for Mikey Matuk as he gets an opportunity to play every single night.
The other thing about Mikey, Ron, I think we're both wondering how this guy would play every single day, because a lot of times you're not sure how players, if they get to go out there every single night, will be able to maintain the performance. But for the last 2 months, he has done it.
That's a great point. He really has.
Now the 0-2. Foul back.
Looks like Gibson, even though he is a sinker baller and the Tigers know he's a sinker baller, looks like he's going to go upstairs with that 4-seam fastball to try to get some swings and misses or get some pop-ups. On the 7th pitch of the Ian Kinsler at bat, he went upstairs on Ian, and he got Ian to pop up in the infield. So the Tigers might have to lay off that pitch upstairs with 2 strikes.
One and 2 on Matuk. Mikey last year was dogged by injuries, and so he really never got a chance to get on the field on a daily basis. But a couple of years ago as a rookie, he did hit 9 home runs in about 100 at bats. Showed some power a couple of years ago for the Rays. Now the 1-2. Fouled away. Tigers battling early on here against Gibson. Upton lurking on deck. Gibson out of Greenfield, Indiana. Played his college ball in Missouri. Again, the 1-2. Brad Ausmus was certainly hoping for better results against the Pirates, having lost 3 of the 4 in that series, the home and home, and as a result the Tigers come in at 52-62 on the season.
Pittsburgh Pirates have some outstanding arms in their rotation and in their bullpen. They've got some guys that can throw that baseball.
Thought about it and laid off the breaking ball there. Well, as far as the Central Division is concerned, Cleveland is up 3.5 on these Twins, who, as we mentioned, are just half out of the wild card.
And Minnesota lost 100 games last year, but right now they sit 57-56, 1 game over 500.
Gibson missing again, 3-2 on Matuk.
Tigers are doing a very nice job of making Gibson get the ball up into the strike zone. Ian Kinsler took several balls that were out of the strike zone. He didn't go fishing. And Mikey Matuk has done the same to work the count back into his favor. And 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now the full count pitch. High, towering fly ball deep into left field, way back to the wall, and that ball is over the wall and gone. Matuk has homered to give the Tigers a 1-0 lead, and what an at-bat that was. There's that power, his 8th home run.
And Mikey Matuk got himself a fastball at 93 at the top of the strike zone. It left his bat at 102 miles an hour. It traveled 378 feet. Rosario, the left fielder, ran out of room, and Rosario could have caught that ball.
Here is Upton. Early lead for the Tigers. And J-Up swings and misses.
Did you see Rosario on this play?
Well, it looked to me like it was off the top of the bullpen roof out there.
He looked like he could have caught it, though, partner. We're going to take one more look at it. He got way close to the fence, which meant he couldn't jump. Now, he can't jump, but look at where the ball lands over the glove.
Oh, you're right.
If he's able to jump, he makes that play.
He came within inches of that ball.
And he's pretty athletic, but that's one of the things that you have to guard yourself against, getting too close to the wall, which prevents you from elevating, and the wall prevented him from stealing that home run away from Mikey Matuk.
Here's the 1-1. Upton looks at a ball outside, 2-1.
Here's one more look at it. And you be the judge. I think he could have caught it, but watch how close he is to the wall. Now he jumps, and when he jumps right into the wall, so he can't really elevate.
Well, Mikey will certainly take it.
That's right.
And that'll be his 8th of the year to give the Tigers the lead. Upton looks at a strike in the outside corner, 2-2. On that second replay, I think I agree with you. I think had he timed that leap a little bit better or spaced himself a little bit better, he gets to that ball. Or at least gets a glove on it, at the very least. J-Up looks at a ball outside, 3-2 now.
Already a couple of 3-ball counts in the game for Kyle Gibson.
And he is up to 21 pitches. He's retired only one batter. Swing and a miss, and Upton goes down on strikes. 2 gone now. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. Well, we're a third of the way there. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Miggy at 255. He'll look at ball 1. Cabrera has been much better at home this year than on the road. .313 here in the friendly confines of Comerica. Shoots a ground ball to the shortstop. Polanco to his left. And knocked down at first and out. Ooh, apparently Mauer picked it up right before Cabrera crossed the bag. And we'll see if the Tigers want to take a peek at this one. I would imagine nope, they're going to wave it off. And Mauer just got that ball in his grasp. And that'll end the inning. Tigers get a run on the Matuk homer. They'll go to the second, 1-0 Detroit. The Tigers since 2016, man, they are just they dominated the Twins.
21-7. Yeah, good for a .750 winning percentage against Minnesota.
And they're off to an early lead here on the home run by Matuk. Sanchez goes back to work. Eddie Rosario looks at a strike.
And Sanchez has a fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. He really loves his changeup these days. He's been throwing it about 30% of the time since coming back up from the minors.
Rosario, Escobar, and Buxton here in the Twins' second. Sanchi had a pretty good first inning, allowed a single to Mauer, but no damage. Little chopper to the first baseman. Right there is Cabrera. He'll take it himself. 3 unassisted. Rosario is out, 1 gone. Now Eduardo Escobar. You know, the Twins come in here having swept a Brewers team that
a good Brewers team.
is a really good team in the battle over there in the National League.
4-game series they swept.
There's a ball down low, and I wonder the point you made a little earlier, if it really is the truth. I mean, sometimes when you decide to sell and you give away some parts, the team gets a little bump in attitude in terms of going out there and saying, all right, let's go play now and see what happens.
And that's exactly what they've done. You know, the Twins were in a stretch where they were losing just about every night right before the trade deadline. They had lost 7 of 8, so they decided to sell. And then they go on a 7-2 run, and that's where they are right now, winning their last 5. So they did sell a couple of pieces, their closer and a starting pitcher, but yet, and Paul Molitor said his team right now playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So they're going to ride that wave. Anything that gives you the incentive at this level.
Seattle and Tampa right now tied for that second wild card. Strike called, and Rosario is out of there.
Nice little two-seam fastball. Greg Maddox fastball back in the day. Escobar thought the ball was going to be inside. In the late life on the two-seamer, watch the action on this pitch. Right over the dish. Nice catching job, frame job there by James.
Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
All day?
All day. All day, every day. Sanchez goes to work now on Buxton.
Nothing worse than going to McDonald's at 10:30 back in the day when you wanted that Egg McMuffin or that Sausage McMuffin, and they tell you can't get it. You got to get a hamburger. It's 10:30.
I'm sorry, sir. We're no longer serving breakfast. Come back tomorrow.
I'm glad they serve it all day now.
0-1 on Buxton. He was on the DL last time the Tigers saw the Twins.
He's been balling lately. And this guy is an athletic player. Hasn't really reached his full potential as of yet, but when this guy gets it going, he's awfully fun to watch, and he's had it going the last 6 games for Minnesota. And if you think about his September last year, Buxton was one of the better players in the American League. He had a bunch of home runs. He had 21 runs scored, which led the American League, and he was driving in a bunch of runs. This was last year down the stretch.
Did he go? Did not. Here's the intriguing thing to me about Buxton. We know about his speed, his defense, and his athletic ability, but you're right, Roddy. He had 10 home runs on the season last year, has 5 this year in limited time. What is his ceiling power-wise, do you think?
Well, he's probably a guy that's going to hit you 20 at some point in time when he really figures out his swing and really knows when to go for home runs.
Pulled the third foul.
But right now, he doesn't know his strike zone as of yet. I know they've been working a lot with him on driving the ball the opposite way. In batting practice, that's pretty much the only swings that he will take. And as a result of that, yesterday he had 3 hits. 2 of them the other way and 1 up the middle. So they're just trying to quiet the game down, slow the game down for Buxton.
Three and 2 now on Buxton. Well, if you put him on base, he is a severe threat. He has 19 steals this year.
Yeah, he will not stay there very long. And Brad Ausmus might help out James McCann with a pitch out.
And he got him instead. Strike 3 called. Buxton punched out of there. 3 strikeouts for Sanchez and a 1-2-3 second.
Yesterday, very early in the game, Garrett Cole on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He took a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, hit it right down the right field line, and by the time the ball was picked up, Miguel Cabrera sliding home safely, and Nick Castellanos on third base with his 9th triple of the season. How about that?
And there you go. Here are the leaders in the American League. 9 of them for Casti leads the way.
We know Castellanos worked a lot on his athleticism in the offseason, wanted to run the bases better, but I didn't think he'd hit 9 triples this year.
He runs the bases extremely well this year, and we've documented you get the ball to right center field, it's going to be a 3-bagger.
That's triples alley. You got to go all the way back to 2005, the last third baseman that had 9 triples in a season. You know who that was, right? Brandon Inge.
Brandon Inge, yeah, he can play anywhere on the field.
And he can run. Nick has had his issues with Kyle Gibson. He is 3 for 25 in his career against him. So Gibson's kind of had his number, but it's about time for Nicholas to figure out some things against Gibson. Going fastball upstairs.
1-2. The last Tiger to have 10 or more triples in a year, Rajay Davis, in 2015.
And he wasn't even an everyday player.
Here is Gibson's 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Nick. 1 gone. That'll be the 2nd strikeout for Gibson. Well, this Sunday, the Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins at 1:10. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under get a free Victor Martinez poster. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. V-Mart DHing tonight. He was 2 out of 8 in the series versus the Pirates. Twins keep 1 man up the middle against Victor. Now, most teams will swing that shortstop or the third baseman around.
Yeah, they feel like he hits a lot of balls in that particular direction. When he's not doing that, obviously they got him played here. That would be Dozier. Lots of ground balls there as well. And Victor can handle that bat, though. He can drive that ball to left field. He can go right center field. In the last couple of days, as you mentioned, starting to swing the bat a little bit better. A lot of Tigers have really good career numbers against Minnesota, but not so much this year. The Minnesota's kind of done better against Detroit, but Detroit still has dominated the series.
Flared foul out of play.
And Buxton and Rosario in the outfield play very shallow. And those guys all have great speed.
Tigers have won 6 of the 9 so far between these two squads. Last Twins win in the series was with Gibson on the mound. Ooh, good pitch. Strike call. 2-2. Kyle was optioned down to AAA after Jaime Garcia was acquired. He made 1 start. Garcia was shipped out quickly and then recalled on August 8th was Gibson.
What was strange about that is that Gibson, 2 days before getting sent down, pitched his best game of the year against us.
It was. And that'll bounce in 3-2.
So don't think it's coincidence at all, the fact that Gibson's getting the ball here tonight against the Tigers. As a matter of fact, in 2 of his last 3 outings against Detroit, they've been pretty good. Last September, he had a really good start here at Comerica Park where he pitched 8 innings in that game. So he's kind of been all or nothing against the Tigers.
Tigers got him for a run in the first on the Matuk homer. Line to center field and caught on the run there by Buxton. 2 gone.
That's a base hit on most nights. But I just pointed out the fact that the youngster in center field, Buxton, plays so shallow. He made that a routine play.
Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. That'll bring up James McCann now with 2 outs. Mac batting .245, 10 home runs. Strike one. You know, you talk about Buxton playing so shallow and the tremendous speed he has. Is that a product of him being real comfortable with going back on balls?
Absolutely. He can take away the singles in front of him because he plays so shallow, but he also has tremendous speed, and he's not afraid to go back on balls, and that's one of the reasons why he does play shallow. There's no doubt. He is one of the better center fielders in the game, and if his bat ever catches up, I mean, you're talking about a perennial all-star.
1 ball and 1 strike on McCann. 1 for 5 in the Pirates series. Sliced foul.
And seeing Buxton in that number 25 out there reminds me of Don Baylor, who we lost just a couple of days ago. Groove was his nickname. He wore number 25 when he played for the Angels. Won an MVP. Buxton got a little cheat sheet in his pocket.
He does. Yeah, we've seen some outfielders start to do that now. The 1-2. Pulled and through, a base hit. McCann with a 2-out single. Tigers have their second hit.
And breaking ball here thrown up there by Gibson. You can see it come off with his fingertips. It's a hanging breaking ball. McCann was out in front just a little bit, but the bat stayed back long enough to barrel up for a single in between short and third.
Romine is in right field tonight, batting here with 2 outs. You look at the versatility of Andrew Romine. In the last week and a half, he has played and made starts, I should say, at first, short, center, and right.
He's kind of turning into a super utility player these days.
That he is.
He said he wants to catch before the year's over.
That's got to be the right situation. Obviously, it can't be in a game that is still meaningful for the Tigers, and he has told Brad over and over, I want to catch in a game. Actually, he's told Brad, I want to play every position in a single game.
Wow.
Here's the 1-1. Little chopper to the right side. Mauer has it. That'll end the inning. Tigers get a 2-out single by McCann, and we go to the third. It's time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Some of the happenings around in Major League Baseball. Trey Mancini 3 for 4, couple of homers on Thursday at Oakland.
How about that? First rookie with 20 homers since Cal Ripken in '82.
Dodgers, meanwhile, they haven't lost a series since June, early June.
Get the World Series rings out for Los Angeles.
Easy now. Here is Giancarlo Stanton with 18 homers in his last 30 games. He's pretty good.
Well, I guess him participating in the home run hitting contest in Miami had nothing to do with his swing at all.
Not at all. Here's Polanco to lead it off. He has been really hot for the Twins. 10 for 15 in that series against Milwaukee. And Polanco up to 239 now. Only 3 hits this year against Tigers pitching, though. 0-1 from Sanchez, dark slow, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez a single allowed in the first and a 1-2-3 second. He has looked good so far this evening. The 1-1. Little chopper up the middle. Going to get through, base hit. So Polanco getting on base a lot these days. And that'll extend his hitting streak. 9-gamer now.
He will not stay at first base very long. He is one of the guys that has the ability to run. On occasion, Paul Molitor, their manager, will give him the green light. And against Sanchez, a lot of guys feel like they can get good jumps while he's on the mound. So expect Polanco to be on the move. One of the first 2 pitches.
He'll draw a throw, and Polanco gets back. Jason Castro, the batter. 225 this year for the catcher, who is was a finalist for a Gold Glove a couple of years ago with the Astros.
Yeah, he's known much more for his glove than his bat.
A little bit of power, 6 homers this year for Castro. Ball 1. Signed a 3-year deal in November to join the Minnesota Twins after 6 years with Houston. Was a first-round pick of the Astros a few years back.
That Astros team all of a sudden not playing their best baseball, but you knew they were due a little bit of a correction. There's no way they could have continued to play the kind of baseball they've started out playing at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, they should be concerned now about their staff.
Right.
There goes the runner. Here's the throw from McCann. Tag! Got him!
Did he really?
Ooh, what a throw there by McCann.
But a fast tag as well by Iglesias. Polanco not leaving.
Good chance the Twins will want to look at this. I think sometimes you can tell a lot by the player's body language out there.
He had a great jump, but James McCann cleared his body out of the way and threw the ball down to second base. Looked like Iglesias tagged him on the back, maybe before the foot got in the bag.
And they're not going to challenge.
Nice fast tag there by Jose.
Bases are empty now.
It's a wise decision by Minnesota not to challenge that play. You might need that challenge for something else a little bit later on, and more than likely you'd have lost that one.
That'll bounce in. McCann came in at 28%. That is the 15th base runner this year he has caught stealing, or trying to.
And from the time that ball got into McCann's glove until the time he got the ball into Iglesias' glove, 1.8 seconds, which is very, very good at this level.
Fly ball to shallow left for Upton. All of a sudden, 2 outs, nobody on.
Here's one more look. And from the time it gets in McCann's glove, boom, until it gets into Iglesias' glove, 1.8. Wow. He's got a great arm. He's got really good footwork too behind the plate. Really clears his body out of the way and gets that left shoulder pointing down toward his target and gets on top of that baseball.
Put 1.8 in context in terms of how good that is.
Well, most guys are right around 2. I mean, most big leaguers. I mean, you got Perez, you got Yadier Molina. Those guys, Pudge Rodriguez, they're always 1.8, 1.75, sometimes for Pudge back in the day. But anything under 2 for a catcher is outstanding, and McCann is with regularity under 2. Even against a guy like Sanchez, who you saw Polanco got a pretty good jump.
Yep.
McCann could make up for some of that.
2-0 on Dozier, who popped up to start the game.
Yeah, don't throw him anything that he can pull right now. He's on fire.
Fly ball center field, routine for Mikey Matuk. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left.
The Minnesota Twins are doing right now. They come in on a 5-game winning streak, 3.5 games back of the Tribe in the Central, and just a half game back of the second wild card spot. This one season removed from losing 103 baseball games. I don't know that anybody would have predicted the Twins having this kind of success on August the 11th of this year. But that's where they sit coming into this game, guys. And Paul Molitor told me he loves the energy around his team right now, but he understands it's a very volatile sport and things can go south at a moment's notice. So he just wants to stay on top of these guys and keep them focused one game at a time right now.
Yeah, they can go north, then go south just as quickly. I mean, it's funny how this game is with the volume of games you play in the course of a major league season. Man, it can switch on a dime.
Yes, it can.
Iglesias getting it started here in the bottom of the third. Tigers lead 1-0. Gibson back to the hill. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Iglesias has worn out in Twins pitching this year to the tune of a .556 batting average.
Pretty good. Now the 0-2. Chopped in front of the plate. Who wants it? Now Gibson's going to have to hurry. Probably a ball that Castro should have taken. Kind of an awkward play there by Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson called it all the way, and Castro did not try to call him off.
One gone. Here is Kinsler.
Other than the home run by Mikey Montauk, a lot of soft contact so far off the bats of the Tigers against Kyle Gibson.
To right field, slicing away from Kepler, and that ball is a fair foul ball. Just foul. Right on it to make the call was Brian O'Nora down the first base line. Pretty close. Just foul. Gibson right now has had 45 pitches, and a good reason for that is that Kinsler and Montauk had really good at bats in the first inning. They made Gibson work, and Montauk eventually got him with a home run. Now the 0-1 pitch. Bending low.
Ian did a pretty nice job of laying off that breaking ball his first time up. He saw 7 pitches to lead off the game, and before popping up to Joe Mauer.
This one should find the seeds. Castro running out of room.
And Gibson doing something today that normally he does not do. He's pitching more inside with the fastball. He's also elevating the fastball, forcing variety to a lot of these Tiger hitters. And for the most part, Tigers have always looked for the ball at the bottom of the strike zone against Gibson because he has that built-in sinker.
Ooh, way out in front, swinging a miss, down he goes. Good breaking ball there, 2 gone.
He took a little something off this breaking ball. He didn't throw this one as hard. He had outstanding arm speed. He threw it out of the same window as the fastball, and Ian Kinsler could not hold up. You saw that ball stayed up long enough, and when Ian started his swing, he swung right over the top of it.
So here's Matuk, who homered in the first for the only run of the game so far. After a lengthy at bat. Chopped foul, 0-1.
You're going to kick me out of the booth after this half inning, aren't you?
I'm going to kick you out. You're going to go to Minnesota's booth.
You're going to kick me out of the booth.
Torrey's coming over for a half inning in our booth.
I can't believe you're kicking me out.
I just got back.
I just got back.
Don't look at me.
No, our fans will be treated by Torrey Hunter. He was an outstanding Tiger for 2 years. 2013, 2014. Great clubhouse leader. He was tremendous for us as well.
Oh, no doubt. From a media standpoint, yeah, he was the best.
Always at his locker.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Matuk.
This time, everything at the bottom of the strike zone so far to Mikey Matuk. Last time, he threw him a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that he missed upstairs with, and Mikey connected for the only run of the game. Solo shot to left field.
Homer number 8 for Matuk on the year. Here's the 1-2. Mikey has not had too many at-bats that have not been patient at-bats here recently.
He is playing the game with a lot of confidence right now. He's got a real nice slow heartbeat, and he's been able to slow the ball down, and for the most part the ball looks like a softball to him on most nights.
Got him that time as Gibson gets a strikeout, his 4th of the game. Tigers go 1-2-3. When we come back, it's our booth swap. It'll be Torrey Hunter joining me in the booth next. 1-0 as we go to the top of the 4th inning here at Comerica Park, and we're doing a booth swap tonight for a half inning. Torrey Hunter, the former Tiger, joining us here in the Fox Sports Detroit booth. And Torrey, you were only here for 2 years in a Tigers uniform, but man, fans really remember you. What's it like coming back to Detroit?
Man, it's awesome, man. They showed me a lot of love. They adopted me into the Tigers family, and I embraced it. They embraced me, and that's something that I'll never forget. You know, my wife came here because she really had a great time here, and she's hanging out with some friends, and you know, we were excited to come back and see the Tiger family.
We're excited to have you as Kepler rolls one right back up the middle, and he is out number 1 here in the 4th. We're going to put you to work. I mean, we had good times when you were here and everything, but you're here to work here tonight, Torrey.
Yes.
So Joe Mauer is coming up here right now, and you know, he's been a big part of the organization for Minnesota over the years. But Mauer, as we know, injuries have kind of slowed him down the last couple of years. How important is he still to this Twins team? He's
very important, man. He's part of the history of Minnesota Twins, and you know, the guys still respect him in the clubhouse. He carries himself as a professional. He comes ready to go every day. Molitor might not play him every day, but he's always ready to play. He's helped him out at first base as well. His glove is pretty impressive. He's been consistent at the plate, and he does what he does well. People want him to hit 30 home runs, but he's never hit. He's maybe one time he's hit 28 home runs.
Yeah.
And but he's been more consistent, 12 to 15 home runs, and hit around 280 to 300.
1 ball and 1 strike on Mauer, who singled back in the 1st but did not score. Sanchez doing good work so far for the Tigers, allowing just a couple of base hits.
And Sanchez, man, you know, he's been up and down this year. Oh, there's another single.
Here's a bullet to right field, a base hit.
He has great stuff. When he's going well, he's mixing his pitches up well, and using all 17 of his pitches. He throws everything but the kitchen sink. But when he's using all his pitches and mixing them up and changing speeds and using that Bugs Bunny changeup, he's good. I think he got to a point where he kind of lost confidence for a while. You saw he went to AAA, and he came back, had some good starts, and struggled a little bit against Baltimore. I've been watching you guys, man. I watch.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're the one.
I mean, you still my fan. I love the Tigers, man. I know the Tigers team better than I know the Minnesota Twins team. Seriously.
I believe it. I really believe it.
I was in their clubhouse for an hour today.
Torrey, of course, does work for Fox Sports North, and graciously coming over for a half inning tonight. Rod Allen scooting over with Dick Bremer on the Minnesota side. But it's great to have you, Torrey. And I know you got a lot of great memories here in Detroit. And even though it was only 2 years, you guys accomplished a lot here.
No, we did, man. In 2013 and 14. 13, I thought was the best offensive team that, you know, I've been a part of, with, you know, Prince Fielder, Austin Jackson. You talk about Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez. We had a nice little squad, and the pitching staff was unbelievable.
Right.
You know, the bullpen, we had some little struggles here and there trying to figure out some pieces in the bullpen. I think that was our only weakness. And it wasn't a weakness, but it wasn't strong as we expected to be.
Well, you got Miguel Sano up here right now, and this guy looks like he is legit and is going to be legit for quite a few years.
Yeah, he's very legit, man. He comes ready to play every day, just like Mauer. He's young, but he's definitely going to be a leader, because this guy has power. He's playing great defense. He's still working. He's like Nick Castellano. When he first came up, he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
And you have Vizquel work with him, and now he's a little better at third base. And he lost weight, Nick Castellano, but with Sano, he's going through the same thing. You know, he has the power. He has 155 strikeouts. He might get 200 strikeouts this year.
Well, what do you do with a guy like this in terms of the strikeouts? I mean, are you concerned about that? Do you try and change some things, maybe more of a 2-strike approach, or you just let it fly like it normally is?
Man, if this guy hitting 30 to 40 home runs a year, and you worried about his strikeouts, something wrong with you. I mean, if you're going to get a guy, you want a guy that's going to hit 30 to 40 home runs. Yeah, you want him to be a Barry Bonds who doesn't strike out much but hit for power. That'd be awesome. But how many guys are like that in baseball ever in the history?
Like zero.
Yeah,
only
not
Barry.
Right, and Ted Williams and Ty Cobbs or whoever it may be. But this guy, you got to let him go out and swing just like that.
There's a base hit to left for Sano, and now all of a sudden the Twins have 2 on now with 1 out.
This guy, you know, he gets pitches up. He can crush him. He gets them down in a way it's tough for him, but he got a pitch up right there on Annable and able to drive it. And here it is, a spinner. That's one of those many pitches that he has, a whole assortment of pitches, and Sano stayed through it pretty well.
So the Twins now have something going here with Eddie Rosario stepping in. Tigers have a 1-0 lead. We're joined by Torrey Hunter, who's doing a half inning of analyst work for us. Rod Allen going to Fox Sports North. And Rosario hammers one in the air to left field, hit pretty good. Upton going back to the track, to the wall. He looks up, and that ball is gone. Eddie Rosario goes the other way. It's a 3-run shot off Sanchez.
Yeah, it's another pitch that he left up, and Rosario's never seen a pitch that he didn't like. He swings a free swinger, and when you get pitches up on him, he can really make them hurt. I like him. He's one of my favorite players with the Twins, and he doesn't care, plays great defense, and he got a pitch right there that he can handle. You know, you look at this pitch right here, it was it was up, and fastball up and out over the plate. That's where his power is, in left center, left field. He was able to drive it out of the park.
It'll bring up Escobar now with the bases empty and 3 runs in. You know, it seems like Rosario is one of those guys that had a really good rookie season, took a bit of a step back last year, and now this year trying to find his feet again.
Yeah, he had a lot of injuries last year, and you know, it's the same thing Miguel Cabrera is going through. He had a lot of injuries this year. Of course, we know he's 34 years old, but I think he has a lot more in the tank. But when you're injured, you alter your swing. Things, you know, you do things different to try to stay on the field because you don't want to be on the disabled list or anything like that. So I think Miguel Cabrera, and you look at Rosario last year, these guys they weren't themselves. So, you know,
chopped to first, and Miggy handles that one.
But when these guys are healthy, you know what they can do. You know what Cabrera can do. You know what Rosario can do. You see it right now. He's healthy. Hadn't been on the disabled list this year, and he feels good. And he's able to go out there and swing the bat.
So these Twins have been a little bit streaky. I mean, you went to the trading deadline thinking, all right, we got to sell now because we're not playing well. And then all of a sudden, you trade a couple of key pieces, and now look what's happening. I guess chalk that up to that's baseball.
Well, I mean, there's not much to sell. I don't think the Twins front office, which I'm a part of, I guess. But
Full disclosure.
I don't think the executives like that and Falvey, these guys were thinking of selling. You know, they were actually trying to get something from somebody, and they did that. They got a couple young guys, and they had to give up some guys to get another guy and get some young guys for Jaime Garcia. And I think, who are you going to get rid of? You're not going to get rid of Dozier. He's the face of the franchise. He's playing well. He's doing what he has to do. He's a veteran in the clubhouse. You're not going to get rid of all the young guys in the outfield, so they have nobody to sell. They're just trying to get rid of some pieces and add some pieces.
Byron Buxton takes a call, third in the inning, and Torrey, always great to see you in Detroit. Thanks for stopping.
Thanks for having me. I love you guys,
right, man.
Thank you.
Good luck, buddy. Good seeing you.
All right.
Torrey Hunter. The Twins have taken the lead over the Tigers now 3-1. bat has given the Minnesota Twins the lead. 3-1 is our score now. Tigers fan for 102 years.
Go, girl.
Oh, my goodness. God bless you. Glad you're a Tigers fan.
Absolutely.
Here is Jay up to get things started here. Tigers have to get at it now. They're down 3-1 here in the fourth.
And Jay up, he punched out his first time up. It was a fastball upstairs.
Upton. A couple of hits in the ball game yesterday against the Pirates. He'll look at a strike in the outer edge, 1-1. Yep, they play him to pull, and a lot of teams starting to do this now against Jay up. There's not many left on the right side.
Well, Jay up, when he's going good, he hits the ball extremely hard where they're playing him on the defense. When he goes the other way, he can do that with authority as well.
2-1. Gibson staked to his first lead in this game. He's got Upton, Cabrera, and Castellanos. Middle of the lineup here in the fourth. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Upton. Our thanks to Torrey Hunter for coming by for a half inning. How'd you like the Fox Sports North booth?
It was cool. Hanging out over there with Dick.
Dick Brayman, good guy.
Yeah.
Good announcer for the Twins.
He made me feel as comfortable as you do.
Wow. The 2-2 inside, almost hit him. 3-2.
Upton, tremendous power. Lots of home runs this year, but this is kind of why they play him to pull on the infield. When he does drive the ball and gets it really good, most of the homers go to left field, not so much right field, although he will do that if you stay away from him.
And Jay up caught looking. Strikes out for the second time in the ball game.
And Jay up didn't quite like that strikeout right there called by Quinn Walcott, but Mr. Foxtrax is saying it got plenty of plate, but it didn't look all that good. You can see Quinn Walcott. He gets a good look at it. He's right there over the left shoulder of Castro. Jay up still didn't believe it.
A little swing back action on that last pitch. 5 strikeouts now for Gibson. Here is Cabrera. Strike one to Miggy, and that was on the outer edge.
Well, something that Gibson's been doing very well today. Lots of first pitch strikes, and once he expands the strike zone, he's going upstairs with four-seam fastballs and breaking balls. And they're just pitching Miggy inside, though.
Drilled to center field. Buxton is on the run. Still going back. Still going. Dives! And he made the catch! Oh, what a play by Byron Buxton. Do you believe that one?
I do not believe that play. He is ridiculous in center field. That ball wasn't absolutely scalded off Miggy's bat. He turned the wrong way, and then he left his feet on the warning track and made another highlight catch. Not an easy play. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. You will not see a better play than that.
He's ridiculous.
And he held on.
Miggy couldn't believe it.
Now, Cabrera's probably thinking, well,
It's one of them years.
yeah, it is what it is. And all Gibson can do is laugh.
We were talking about him just a couple of innings ago and the fact that he plays shallow, but he has a tremendous amount of confidence in going back on balls, and that is a perfect illustration of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And even though he turned the wrong way, his athleticism allowed him to still run full speed and then leave his feet and make another great catch.
Castellanos struck out in his first at bat. That'll bounce in outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nick was 5 for 9 in the series against the Pirates and had 7 RBIs. Here's the 1-1. Right back up the middle into center field. He whistled that one right by Gibson.
Yeah, he did.
2 out singled out for the Tigers.
That is only the 4th hit for Nicholas Castellanos in his career against Gibson in 27 at-bats. That'll bring up Victor Martinez.
Just replaying that catch by Buxton over and over in my head, and just realizing how unfair baseball can be if you're Miguel Cabrera.
You know, we had a nice conversation with the general manager today, Al Avila, and one of the things he talked about, sometimes you look at numbers overall, and Miggy's not having a great year by any stretch of the imagination. He's not having a Miggy-type year. But if you look at some of his hard ball hit rate, different things like that, Miggy is hitting the ball hard on occasion, just not as consistently. Therefore, doesn't look like he's having a good year.
Well, that one was headed to the wall in center field, but all it has done is left Miguel wondering.
Yeah, that's a home run in most ballparks.
True.
A line drive home run to center field.
1-0 on Victor. Gibson has done a good job of working that outside corner, whether it's to left-handed batters or right-handed batters. Quinn Walcott has given him the outside corner. Castellanos a moderate lead at first. Outside, 2-1. Tigers led 1-0 before the Rosario 3-run homer to the opposite field gave the Twins the lead.
Yeah, good count for Victor Martinez to turn on a fastball if he does get that fastball from Gibson. Yeah, they're playing Victor to pull, but they continue to pitch him away.
In there, a strike call, top of the zone. 2-2. Tigers saw a lot of sliders, changeups last time they saw Gibson. Now they're going to switch around in the defense. Polanco shifting to the right side, it appears. Two on Martinez. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning. 6 strikeouts for Gibson, and Byron Buxton saved the day for Minnesota with a tremendous catch in center.
Brought to you by Ram Trucks. The Tigers are 10 games under 500 now as we approach mid-August. So at this point of a season, you begin looking forward to next year. In 2015, they used their first-round pick, the 22nd overall, to select right-handed pitcher Bo Burrows. He spent all of last year with West Michigan. In early June, he was promoted from Class A Lakeland, where he had a scant ERA of 1.23 to Double-A Erie, where it's not gone quite as smoothly for him. But Mario and Rod, the Tigers love this kid's upside a lot, and he projects right in the middle of a future Tigers rotation.
Yeah, Keats, a lot to love there, and really a lot to love about a lot of the minor league pitching prospects the Tigers have. I mean, Funkhauser coming back from injury, but Manning's been good.
Yeah, Tigers have been able to stockpile a lot of really good power arms in their minor league system. It'll only be just a matter of time before some of those guys start to surface here in the show.
Meanwhile, Polanco leading it off here as we go to the 5th inning at the ballpark. Tigers down 3-1. Polanco, Castro, Dozier. Singled in the 3rd for Polanco, and he rips this one to right field. It's going to be caught. Romine got over there, one gone. It'll bring up Castro. Flied out his first time up. Sanchez was cruising along until the home run bug got him again in the 4th inning. 3-run shot by Rosario. Swing and a miss, 0-1. We check in now with our good friend Craig Monroe, who's down in the field taking this one in. And Simo, I just mentioned that Sanchez was going good, and then all of a sudden Rosario got him.
Well, Rosario is a free swinger. Every pitch, it seems like he can cover the entire strike zone. I didn't think it was a bad pitch. I just thought that the young man took a really good swing. He went opposite field. I mean, if you're going to get beat, I feel like that's the way you got to get beat. Get beat the opposite way and not down and in where lefties like it.
Simo, you played some center field. What do you got on that Buxton play last half inning?
Ridiculous. That was a sick catch. You got to love the athleticism that he showed on that particular play. He got a great jump. He wasn't worried about the concern with the wall at all. Knew he had room and made an outstanding grab.
Simo, what do you think the ceiling is for Mr. Buxton as far as hitting and when he'll figure it out? I mean, you were a high school player when you came out of Texas. How long did it take you before you really started to figure out some things in the big leagues?
I spent 7 years in the minor leagues, 6.5 years in the minor leagues, and I feel like I needed all of them because that's when you learn how. I feel like I learned a lot about myself, learned about the swing, and also you learn what you can handle, pitches you can handle. And I also learned how to be in control of my bats. And I just think that this kid, he's got a little ways to go. His swing can get long at times, but I think that's confidence. When you have some confidence and you believe when you get in that batter's box, I feel like you have success. But when you're not having success, the confidence level wavers. And I feel like that's where the young man is right now.
Brian Dozier, the batter here with 2 outs. Simo, in 10 minor league seasons, you had over 3,200 at bats.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. Well, it illustrates your point on how long it takes sometimes to get things figured out.
Well, especially being
mine up about 5,000.
I mean, especially being an 18-year-old kid, being an athlete, you know, not necessarily playing baseball, not being my #1 sport. You play football, play basketball. I feel like, you know, when I got drafted, I finally had to focus on one particular sport, and I had to you have to turn yourself into a baseball player.
It'll miss down low, and the count on Dozier now 3-1. By the way, Rod Allen in the minor leagues, 4,400 plate appearances.
A lot of years, man. Yeah. A lot of perseverance.
Here's a 3-1.
A lot of bus rides.
That's right.
A lot of bus rides, man.
And I'm sure the food was good in every town that you pulled into.
And that $9 a day meal money, it went a long way too.
But how great was it though, Rod, for that to get that call and get one day in the big leagues? Oh,
never forget it.
Those 6-7 years was all worth it for me.
Yeah, forget about this one. It's going to be a swinging bunt for Dozier, 2-out single.
That's probably the softest hit that Dozier has gotten in the last week.
That'll keep it going now for Kepler, who is 0 for 2.
And Dozier might try to attempt to steal a bag himself. There's 2 outs. He's got a left-hander in the batter's box in Kepler. He has 11 steals this year. He's been caught 6 times.
Kepler, a couple of ground balls. They plan to pull on the infield defensively. As Dozier
Draws a throw at first base.
Kepler having a pretty good year. 13 homers, 45 ribbies. Had a good rookie campaign last season. From Germany.
Yeah, born in Berlin. Well, he had 17 home runs as a rookie last year, so more than likely he'll catch that number again this year.
Guys, he kind of reminds me of a Paul O'Neill in the batter's box.
Yeah.
That frame.
Good comp.
I like this kid, though. He's talking with Torrey Hunter, obviously former Tiger here. One of the great guys in the game, and he was talking about how he likes this kid here on the defensive side. But he said his swing, he loves it, drives the ball to all fields. He's going to be a good player.
Ooh, look out, up and in.
This overall is a pretty good defense. And with Buxton in center, Rosario has a very strong throwing arm from left. As Kepler gets dusted here with the fastball up tight. And of course, you mentioned this kid right here can play some defense too.
Yes, he can.
So they've got some nice athleticism on the defensive end.
They're also aggressive on the base pass. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on the defense. I think this Minnesota team, Twins team, will be a good team moving forward.
Well, a breaking ball on 2-0 for a strike.
Well, they're young.
Yes.
And they've got some athleticism.
So we've talked about, on a purely defensive end, some of the best outfields like Boston, New York. Houston's got a pretty good outfield defensively. These guys have to rank up there, don't they?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they have to rank. They're ranked pretty high in my book. I still like the killer bees out there, though, in Boston and Beantown with Betts and Bradley Jr. and Benintendi in left.
You like them better than the trio in Pittsburgh? Defensively.
Defensively, I'm going to go with yes, I do. I mean, I love Gregory Polanco and right field for the Pirates, and obviously McCutcheon, MVP, and then he plays an outstanding center field as well. The kid that just got back, Starlin Marte from the suspension, he's a center fielder playing left field. So no, they've got the athletic outfield.
Runner goes, fouled back out of play.
I wouldn't disagree with it. I probably would go Boston. But you know who has an outstanding defense that no one really talks about that much, though?
The Houston Astros?
Yep. Springer in center. Rasmus has an unbelievable arm. No, not Rasmus. What's
Reddick.
the right? Reddick in right field. And then when Marisnik is playing,
yes,
they've got one of the best defenses in baseball.
Yeah.
Marisnik doesn't play every day, but when he plays and they put Springer in left and Reddick in right and Marisnik in center field, it's a tough one.
2-2 on Kepler. Runner goes again and drilled to right field. And Romine looks up, and that ball's going to carry out a line drive home run for Max Kepler, the second homer allowed by Sanchez.
And the 14th of the year for Max Kepler.
You saw the frustration there for Anibal.
Well, that's 7 home runs now given up for Anibal Sanchez in his last couple of starts, and he was doing very well in that regard when he first came back from the minor leagues and was starting. He kept the ball down. He didn't give up many homers. It's a 2-2 fastball that pretty much splits the plate at 92.
And I think the frustration that we're seeing from Anibal Sanchez is that he knows he's got to make a better pitch there to a 2-2 count there. He had an opportunity maybe to expand the strike zone, maybe elevate that fastball, maybe bounce it to see if Kepler would chase. But he got a nice pitch, 92 inside. He didn't miss it.
One question for you, Mario. Do you think the fact that the runner was on the move, do you think Sanchez was trying to get the ball in there a little bit faster to give McCann a chance to throw and just left that pitch up?
That's a great question. I mean, I guess I never considered the fact the runner on the move would have an effect on how you deliver a pitch. I mean, what do you think?
It's a 2-2 count, and it looked like to me he was trying to give McCann an opportunity to throw in. He may have left that ball up. He may have rushed with his body, and when you do that, you leave balls up in the strike zone. Don't know for sure.
What do you think, Simo?
Well, I just think it was a bad pitch, personally. I'm not sure if he rushed there. I couldn't tell in his delivery.
Yeah, it's rolled as short, and that's going to end the inning, 6-3. But a 2-run shot by Kepler extends the Twins' lead. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
tied but 1 now as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and going to break. You may have heard a little bit of language that, well, to put it mildly, was a little bit salty, so we apologize for that.
Did he say it in English or Spanish?
It was quite loud in English. Here's McCann to get things started in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be McCann, Romine, Iglesias. And Gibson back to the hill. He gave up a single, no damage in the 4th. Tigers have a homer against him tonight. That's it. A solo shot by Matuk. McCann singled in the 2nd. He is 1 for 1.
And Kyle Gibson so far 11 of 16 in first pitch strikes.
The 0-1 is rep foul down the left field line.
And when he's able to get ahead with those first pitch strikes, he's very confident in expanding that strike zone. He's got a good catcher in Castro. He's not afraid to throw that ball a couple of inches off the plate, inside or outside, knowing that that glove of Castro's is a pretty good one, and he might just pull it back into the strike zone to steal some strikes.
His breaking ball also been nasty tonight.
Foul away. Hey, we're going back to college with Nissan, and James McCann, as you may or may not know, matriculated at Arkansas, where he played from 09 to 11. And here were the numbers that James had at Arkansas.
James left Santa Barbara as a high school kid to go to Arkansas.
Well, wait a minute here. Here's the 0-2. Have you been to Fayetteville?
I have not.
You know what?
But I've been to Santa Barbara.
No, I've been to both. And believe me, Santa Barbara's in a league of its own. But I will say this about Fayetteville. I've done a couple of basketball games there. That is a really good college town.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it was a nice area, great people.
Good baseball, too.
Sure. Good college program, but yeah. But I've been to Santa Barbara, too. Awfully nice. The 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, you know what I've noticed, too, that Gibson's doing a little bit of today, and he might do it right here. He's changing some eye levels with that 4-seam fastball upstairs. He usually works at the bottom of the strike zone.
Right.
But today, on a few occasions, he's gone upstairs with about 93 and got some soft contact and a couple of swings and misses.
Now the 1-2. Ooh, off the plate. That's a call that was close on a couple of other occasions earlier in the game that he got.
And it's usually a strike that Castro, the catcher, is able to frame and steal.
2 balls, 2 strikes on McCann. Little pop up, shallow center field, and who's going to get there? The shortstop. Nice play by Polanco.
You see Buxton. You see Polanco looking over his shoulder. He was thought Buxton was going to come in there and run him over.
I would too, man. Buxton was picking him up and laying him down. Here's Romine. If I'm a starting pitcher on the Minnesota Twins, I've got to feel awfully comfortable on a ball hit to center field. And I wonder if that kind of dictates the way you pitch sometimes, knowing you've got a weapon like that out there.
Absolutely. Let him hit it, especially when you're playing in Comerica Park. Maybe that's why he's throwing some fastballs up in the strike zone. Let him hit it as far as they can hit it. We saw Miggy hit one to the 418 out in center field that was ran down. So Gibson may be pitching to the park here today.
And it was also time for him to make an adjustment against the Tigers. I mean, the Tigers put together some solid at-bats against Gibson throughout his career.
Ball 1 to Romine. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gibson facing the bottom 3 in the lineup here in the 5th. 5-1. Twins have the lead on a pair of home runs, Rosario and Kepler. It'll bounce in 2-1.
One of the things that all of us talked about ad nauseum was the fact that we believed the Twins would be able to stay in the race. We talked about it in April. We talked about it in May. We talked about it in June and July. And I don't think to one of us thought that they would be, but look at them now.
They're playing meaningful games, that's for sure.
Well, I think a lot of the credit goes to Paul Molitor. I mean, this is a very young team we've talked about that has some key pieces that are still very young. They've got some veterans sprinkled in, but he just seems to be the perfect guy to manage this team.
Yeah, they play the game right, too. I mean, they run out every ground ball. They go first to third. They tried to put a lot of pressure on the defense.
And guys, also not to mention, I mean, they added Michael Kadire model citizen, somebody that played the game the right way to their staff. I mean, up front office, they added Torrey Hunter, LaTroy Hawkins. So they've got a good core of guys that spend a lot of time in Minnesota playing and understand how to win.
And he walked in, ball 4. Borderline pitch. It'll be a 1-out base runner. Fans Fiesta Tigres is tomorrow when the Tigers battle the Twins at 6:10. And the first 10,000 fans 21 and older will get a pair of Tigers beer mugs. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGERS. Got Mr. Polanco in town, Placido. He'll be joining us in the booth tomorrow night. Always good to catch up with Paulie. What a Tiger he was. It was the first walk of the game for Gibson.
Guys, Paulie absolutely raked.
Didn't he?
Oh, absolutely raked. I don't understand it. I'm like, how do you do this every day?
He had 200 hits one year, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, stop it.
And I think he won an entire season without making an error.
He had like the shortest, quickest stroke, didn't he?
He really did. I mean, he is special in that batter's box, guys.
Didn't
he was
strike
fun
out.
to watch.
Great dude, too.
Yeah.
Throw back and Romine back in there.
Use the whole field. I've always admired guys that had the ability to be consistent, driving the ball the opposite way. And Paulie was definitely one of those guys.
What kind of a teammate was he?
Great teammate. He was a leader inside that clubhouse. He's a funny cat, too. He's pretty funny. He kept us loose in there, making some jokes.
Did he go? Yes, he went around. 0-2 on Iglesias.
Another thing about Polanco, he was a self-made ball player. He was born in Dominican Republic, came to the States and went to college, but he had to walk on to a junior college.
In Florida, right?
In Florida.
Yeah.
Had to walk on to the junior college. Community college, excuse me.
Right. They have changed that now. They prefer community college.
Somebody would have tweeted me.
There's a ball driven to left. That's going to get down extra bases. Here comes Romine to third. They're going to try and score him. Romine will come in, throw to the plate, cut off. RBI double for Iglesias.
Guys, after missing a few days, Iggy seems now to be getting back on track. He was banging before he left, but look at the swing here. Very short, compact swing, didn't miss it. But look at Romine cutting those bases. And look at Dave Clark right in that arm. Tigers get another run here. Cut the deficit 5-2. But great piece of hitting there by Iglesias.
You know, the thing about that play, Steve, and you brought it up, is the fact that Romine running from first base, he can see that ball in front of him. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to score on a ball down the left field line. The left fielder's going to get there, get it in, and you'll be stopped. But he was going full speed, and that allowed Dave Clark to send him home really without a play.
Flare down the right field line and slicing foul. So the walk to the number 8 hitter comes back to get Gibson. Romine racing around from first to score. Oh, and 1 on Kinsler. The Tigers had their 4th hit of the game. Ian, a pop-up and a strikeout. Did he hold it? Yes, he held up. One and one. Matuk waiting on deck. He's already homered. Rolled foul. Gibson this year has been the recipient of a lot of offense. He's getting about 6.3 runs per start this year. They've got him 5 already tonight. But there is action in the bullpen now. Ryan Presley warming up. Pitch count is approaching 90. He is at 88.
And Paul Molitor needed 6 2/3 innings of work out of his bullpen last night in a game in Milwaukee, but they got the win. So that bullpen is a little bit taxed.
Pulled to third base. Scooped up there by Escobar. Kinsler is out. Runner holds. 2 gone. He in his 0 for 3 tonight. Here's Mikey Batuk. Solo shot in the first inning got the Tigers on the board. Matuk trying to get to that 300 level. He's at 296.
I mean, right now, guys, to me, Mikey Matuk, he walks different. He's confident right now, I believe.
He does, man.
Oh, he just looks different. He looks confident, sure of himself.
Got that swagger going.
Oh, he's got it going. He's got it going.
That'll get away. To the screen it goes. That'll advance the runner as Iglesias moves up. He also has that one thing that, Rod, you've talked about, that ability to know that he can go 0 for 4 and that he'll be in the lineup the next day.
Absolutely. Yes. He knows that he is in center field. There used to be a time where Mikey Matuk would have to walk into the clubhouse and look at the starting lineup every day to see whether he was in it. He doesn't have to do that anymore.
And there's not a better feeling, guys, to be able to walk in there and not even have to look at the lineup and know that your name's going to be penciled in and you're going to get 4 good ones every single night.
The 1-0. 2-0 on Matuk.
Even Matuk's takes right now are very nice. And what I mean by that is when a guy takes a pitch that's a borderline pitch and you don't see a lot of movement in their body, they're dialed in. If Gibson throws him a fastball the way that Mikey's been swinging that stick, he'll hit it hard somewhere.
Off-speed pitch, 2-1 on Matuk.
He's upset at himself as well because he swung at that pitch. A lot of times when you're sitting fastball, you don't want to swing at that breaking ball, especially in the 2-0 count. Easier said than done.
Gibson now at 92 pitches. Iglesias at third with 2 outs, a run in. The 2-1. High ball 3. And you've got Upton waiting on deck as the tying run. Ball 4, Matuk gets a walk. 2 on now with 2 outs. Here's Chevrolet's most dependable player. J-Up comes strolling in. We're looking at players leading their team in hits, homers, and steals. And Upton is one of 4 in the majors this year.
And Paul Goldschmidt, he's a candidate for the MVP out in the National League, playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks. You got Mookie Betts and Will Myers also on that list.
Very good company this year. Meeting on the mound now for Gibson. And you've got Upton strolling in as the tying run at the plate. Meanwhile, Presley's still throwing, although he is ready to go if needed. He's been warming up all inning. Upton has been struck out twice tonight by Gibson.
He's due.
2 outs, runners in scoring position, 326.
Pretty good.
Ball 1. Tigers 1 swing of the bat away from tying this game.
And they've got the right man in the batter's box. He's hit 21 this year.
Jay up now with 78 RBIs as well as Matuk stretches from first. Iglesias at third. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. That'll get a run in. Iglesias scores. 5-3 ball game. Jay up again, comes through with 2 outs.
Real nice swing here by Justin Upton. Ball hit directly back up the middle, and that's going to be the end of the night for Kyle Gibson.
So he will not be able to get a decision in this game, namely a win if the Twins go on and win it.
And last time Justin Upton was up, they had 3 men on the left side of the infield. Had they been playing that same defense, that would have been a ground ball right to their second baseman, Brian Dozier, but they didn't shift that time.
It'll be a wall sign windows pitching change. Gibson is done for the night. We'll be back.
Look at the Justin Upton base hit that goes right up the middle. Dozier, the last time he was up, Dozier was on the other side of the bag. He was over here somewhere, but that time, and not over there.
Well, now the Tigers have Cabrera up there with the tying runs on the bases. 5-3 ball game. Ryan Presley is out of the bullpen now for the Twins.
And Presley has a big arm. Fastball gets up to about 97 miles an hour. Throws a lot of sliders and curveballs. No changeups. 3 pitches thrown by Presley.
Miggy ground out, fly out. Of course, his last one was a circus catch out in center by Buxton. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Kepler coming in, and that'll end the inning. Tigers clawing back, though. They get 2 runs, leave 2, and we go to the 6th. Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet. Go for thrilling drives and deals at the Chevy Summer Drive. Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here at the ballpark as Sanchez climbs back on top of the hill. He's got Sano to lead things off. Tigers back to within 2 now, 5-3 ball game as we head to the 6th. And Sano looks at a strike 0-1.
Has 3 straight changeups going back to the last at bat of Sano that Anibal Sanchez has thrown him.
Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sano a single and a strikeout, had a base hit right ahead of the Rosario home run in the 4th. One and 2. Swing and a miss, and Sano is out of there. 6 strikeouts now for the Tigers right-hander. Fans, don't miss out on the 2017 Michigan Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's Friday, September 15th at the Max M. Fisher Music Center. Be there as legends like Dennis Rodman, Jalen Rose, Jim Leland, more take their place in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. For more information and tickets, go to mshof.org.
That's an interesting group.
It's quite diverse. That's pulled in the air to right field. Going to drop, base hit. Romine cuts it off, wide turn by Rosario. And his 2nd hit of the night. That'll bring up Escobar. Twins now have 8 hits. Escobar does not have one. And here is Rich Doobie running out, the Tigers pitching coach.
And Rich Doobie going out to buy a little time and for the bullpen to get up and get active.
The guy that's been good for the Tigers has Daniel Stumpf. And Alex Wilson also joining him. Escobar steps in now. Eduardo is now 1 for his last 20 at bats. Runner goes. Here comes the throw from McCann. It's going to be late, get away, and not far enough though for the runner to advance. So Rosario is safe with a stolen base. And his percentage this year is not all that good.
He had a pretty good jump.
Fifth stolen base for Rosario. He has been caught 6 times. He is in scoring position now for Escobar. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Pickoff throw, nobody there. He threw that ball behind the runner, and Iglesias fortunately was standing there. That could have been really bad. Rosario looked stunned that he actually threw it. Now Bluff back there and nobody there.
I think Rosario also was stunned at how close that ball was to hitting him.
I mean, it almost hit him in the face, right?
Yeah.
Soft liner to the shortstop, and Rosario gets back.
Good base running by Rosario. He knew exactly where Iglesias was playing. He was playing to the left of him, so he knew as soon as that ball was hit that he had to get back to the bag. He knew exactly where he was playing.
Here is Buxton now with 2 outs. Been a tough night for Byron with the bat. He's 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts, but defense has been on point.
And see if Byron tries to hit the ball the other way this time up after 2 strikeouts. That's what they've been working on with him lately.
Buxton swings and misses 0-1.
And now if you're Sanchez, simply expand the strike zone. No need in throwing Buxton a strike, and he might just leave the strike zone again.
And right up, Mario, I've also noticed that Buxton continues to make adjustments. Early in the season, he was hitting with a leg kick. Now, if you look at his approach, now he's spread out a little bit, trying to eliminate some movement to where he can barrel up the baseball a little better, but still hasn't worked out for him just yet.
How often did you guys make changes to your approach, whether it's where you stood in the box, whether it was a leg kick or not a leg kick or anything mechanical? Do you guys go through that a lot during the course of a season?
I would. I was a guy that overanalyzed everything. And so for me, yes, I was Chipper Jones at one time. I tried to double tap. I thought I was Manny Ramirez one time, tried to leg kick. I mean, you're just trying to find something that allows you to be confident and hit with rhythm and timing. And if for whatever reason, I would just go back and forth, but I really believe that it also hindered me at times because I was in the batter's box thinking way too much.
Slap foul out of play.
I would move more in the batter's box. I would kind of determine the starting pitcher that we were going up against that day and say it was a soft tossed and left-hander that I knew could not get inside on a fastball. I would simply get up in the batter's box and get right on top of the plate to try to eliminate his changeup and his breaking ball and force him to throw me some fastballs, and that fastball would look like it was down the middle. And when a guy threw 95, I would get as deep as possible in the batter's box. So I would move my feet in the batter's box.
Popped him up. Kinsler going back to the grass, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, a steal, 1 man left.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The Tigers got on the board early in this contest. It was Mikey Montook with a solo shot. It went to left field. All the runs so far tonight scored by the Minnesota Twins, courtesy of the home run ball, one by Rosario. That was a 3-run shot. Then it was Max Kepler with a 2-run shot in the 5th inning. And Jay up. He was able to drive in a run along with Iglesias last half inning to put Tigers within 2.
And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th now. Castellanos leads it off for the Tigers, and he looks at ball 1 inside. Single strikeout for Nick. He is followed by Martinez and McCann. 5 runs, 8 hits for Minnesota. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. The 1-0. Nick did not like that last call. On the outside corners, he steps out. Nick is now 6 for his last 11. To center field, Buxton is on the move. Didn't quite get all of it. 1 gone. Let's bring in Trevor now on MSU night.
The chant out here is go green, go white. It's MSU night. Check out the folks behind me, guys. You gotta like the Sparty billboards they've got over here. Now, I know, Rod, you didn't go to MSU, but check out the old Gibby photo and check out Mario. The alums got to be liking that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Mario, where's your football uniform? I see these big pads on Gibby. Where's that look on you?
Yeah, I didn't come close to the football field.
How about that bow tie they got on Simo, though?
The bow tie on Simo is killer. I love that. Is killer. Killer. Hey, Simo would actually wear that bow tie if you brought it out to him. I know he would.
I do dig me some Sparty, though.
Simo would make a great Spartan. Now, Sparty, you got to admit, Sparty the mascot is up there, man. He's primo.
Sparty on point.
Oh, glad to have the Spartans in town here in the ballpark tonight on MSU night. Victor, the batter, flared out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's nice of the Sparty fans to show me and Simo some love.
That's
right, man. You're honorary Spartans.
Yeah.
Go green, go white, right?
You got it.
There he is.
There he is. He's a piece of work. I love it.
Victor in the ball game. Strikeout, line out to center field. The 1-1. 2-1 on Martinez. Again, not as severe a shift as we normally see on Victor when he bats from the left side. Fouled away again. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Martinez.
We played a series against Baltimore on that last road trip, and Buck Showalter not only had the second baseman playing about 5 feet in front of the right fielder, he had the shortstop and third baseman all about 5 feet deep on the outfield grass. So none of the infielders were on the infield grass when Victor was hitting in Baltimore.
Yeah, they were really cutting down the angles. More so than any other team. Swing and a miss, and Martinez out on strikes.
That's quite a few strikeouts tonight for Twinkies pitching.
Yeah, let's see. I got 7 now.
A little breaking ball there that Presley got away with at 88.
Here's McCann. Mack a single and a pop-up. Twins have been on a roll, winning 5 consecutive games after sweeping Milwaukee in a 4-game set. High fly ball, right center field. Buxton is on the move, still going back. He'll go to the warning track right in front of the wall. And a 1-2-3 inning. All right, Simo, we're going to check out the bow tie and then say goodbye until postgame.
It's a big one.
No, it's a big one, but it's right. They know I'll try it.
I see you, boy.
As we go to the top of the 7th here at the ballpark, and the Tigers going back to the bullpen now. It'll be a wall-sign windows pitching change for Daniel Stumpf.
Daniel Stumpf has done very well in the 29 prior games he's pitched in the big leagues. He has a couple of holds. The ERA just a shade over 2. The whip not bad. He's punched out 20. He's walked 10.
And so Stumpf will go to work here against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the 7th inning.
And Stumpf's got a fastball that will top out at about 94 miles an hour. And he also features a slider about 34% of the time and a changeup. So pretty much just a couple of pitches thrown by Stumpf. That would be the fastball that's firm and the slider.
That one backed him out of there. Fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Polanco, Castro, Dozier. Single line out for Polanco. He sits safely now in 9 straight. Offered up a bunt and took it for strike 1. Polanco was in the throes of a 1 for 34 slump, and then all of a sudden caught fire. He sits safely now in 9 in a row, and was 10 for 15 in that Milwaukee series. So you talk about turning things around. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball to short, and Iglesias has it there. 1 away. Bring up Jason Castro. There's activity in the bullpen. Trevor Hildenberger is warming up.
Told you last half inning that Paul Molitor needed 6 2/3 innings of work out of his bullpen yesterday in a game in Milwaukee, which they won. And they're going to need at least 5 innings out of their bullpen tonight.
Castro fly out, strikeout. Tigers at 1 point were down 5-1. It's now 5-3. Swing and a miss. A couple of guys out of the Tigers pen that have done some really good work. Soppold and Stumpf, and not too many talk about them as Wilson continues to warm up.
And most of the times Soppold's work is 3 innings or more. He's done that 6 times this year already.
That's extremely valuable. Warwick has had a good August. Stumpf, meanwhile, has done fabulous work. 1-2. Two now on Castro. Stumpf is not allowed to run in his last 16 appearances. It's a span of over 13 innings.
Well, that's the reason why he's in the game. And Brad thinks that, and he should think this way, if they're able to hold down this Minnesota offense and give the Tigers a chance to catch up in their next 9 outs.
Yeah, he pretty much has earned opportunities to pitch late in games, whether the Tigers are winning or whether it's close. 3-2. And Romine will play it on 1 hop. It's a base hit to right field. 1 on, 1 out. Menards brings you the big money encounter. How about Dozier in the second half? Last 2 years, pretty good.
I mean, he's had his big boy pants on. 37 home runs. Chris Davis with a K. Oakland Athletics with 30. Nelson Cruz on that list along with J.Up.
Apparently Stumpy is done for the night, so Daniel is out of there facing 2 batters. He'll give the baseball up. Alex Wilson coming into the ball game here in the 7th. We'll be back.
Fiesta Tigres weekend here at Comerica Park, and the team is recognizing Placido Polanco, one of the heroes of the '06 World Series bound Tigers team. And Placido did a question and answer with the fans here at Comerica Park at the Big Cat Court earlier today. I also had a chance to catch up with him, guys. He told me he's living in Miami these days. He's not working full-time. He's spending time with the family, traveling about, and he's looking forward to getting back into baseball. He's ready to get to work full-time again, and that could come as soon as next year, and I'm sure he'll tell you guys all about that tomorrow when he joins you in the booth here as Fiesta Tigres weekend rolls on.
Yeah, Trev, we look forward to it. Polanco well-liked in his days here in Detroit. Wilson goes to work against Dozier.
Kind of surprised that Polanco not in the game of baseball. He was so well thought of. He was a really good player, an outstanding infielder, fluent in speaking English. Of course, he speaks Spanish. Very valuable to any organization these days.
The 0-1 is fouled off.
Did Polanco get his U.S. citizenship here right at Comerica Park one day? He did, I believe
Sanchez,
so. Both of them. Both of them, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, if you can't be in baseball, hanging out with the family and doing traveling is a pretty good second. Wilson trying to get Dozier here. Numbers on Alex.
Numbers have gotten better. And for Alex lately, he's throwing the ball well. Fastball coming out of his hand nicely at about 93, 94. And breaking ball changeup.
Infield single and a run scored for Dozier. He's 1 for 3. Twins now have 9 hits after that single by Castro.
And Wilson, his fastball will get up to about 94. He throws that slider about 7% of the time. He'll cut the fastball a lot as well. And that changeup.
Spoil that one.
And the way that you pitch to Dozier, you have to try to force him into hitting the ball to right field. When you allow him to extend his arms and catch the ball out in front and hit the ball to left field, it's usually a lot of damage. He can get a base hit or a double the other way, but usually not homers the opposite way for Brian Dozier. And that's pretty much the way the Tigers have tried to pitch him the last couple of years. Away, away, away.
Down the right field line. That is a fair ball. It's going to go to the corner. This might get a run in. Rumbling around third base is Castro. They're going to send him home. And all the way to third goes Dozier. The Twins have another run in to make it 6-3.
We were talking about Dozier a couple of innings ago and the fact that he has started to go the opposite way a little bit more. Not many home runs that way, but he can get an extra base hit in that direction, especially if you show him that you're not going to come inside. Alex threw him 5 pitches. 1 was inside. The other 4 were right out there where he was looking.
Dozier makes it all the way to third base. 10th hit of the game as Castro comes around to score. The infield in now, still only 1 out. Tigers need to cut this run down. They're down by 3 here in the 7th. The 1-0 to Kepler. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. That'll get another run in. It's been a big night for Kepler. Homer now an RBI single, and the Twins are up 7-3.
And Joe Mauer, as he strolls to the plate with 1 out, he has had 3 plate appearances already tonight. He has taken the first pitch on all 3 of those plate appearances. Usually at least 1 time per game he chooses to swing at the first pitch. This might be that time.
2 singles tonight for Mauer. 11 Twins hits. Kepler chased back. The first run in this inning charged to Stump, so Daniels' 13 1/3 scoreless streak is over. He took it, ball 1.
93% of the time, and Joe Mauer takes the first pitch. That's all the bats all year. So he only swings at the first pitch 7% of the time.
I'd love to know what the situation was in those 7%. Whether he had men in scoring position. That's fouled back.
I think probably runners in scoring position, and also late in the game where the opposing pitcher just kind of thinks, because he does take the first pitch so often, that he's going to take another one, and he tries to ambush the pitcher on a fastball if he gets that fastball.
One and one on Mauer. Ooh, he had a big swing there.
Good cutter. Outstanding pitch. At 88, looked like a fastball coming right down the middle. And take a look at this ball, just kind of cut to the inside corner to tie up Joe Mauer.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled back out of play. Mauer continues to battle. Mauer was having a rough August coming in. He was hitting just 188 this month, but he has 2 hits and a run scored tonight.
Yeah, there are times when Paul Molitor will not even start Joe Mauer against left-handed pitching.
Twins have added 2 here in the 7th. They lead 7-3. Ground ball to first. Miggy tags the bag 1. Tag play at second for the out. Double play. Inning over. A 2-run frame though for the Twins. They extend their lead, and coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. $10,000 fans receive a free Alan Trammell bobblehead. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Alan Trammell bobblehead. You can add that to your collection.
Have to get one of those.
Well, the Tigers down by 4 again now as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stretch time here at the ballpark. 7 runs, 11 hits. Minnesota Tigers 3 runs, 5 hits. And the new pitcher is on now. Hildenberger will check in.
Hildenberger, a sidewinder. He throws from underneath. 53% he throws a fastball, about 88 to 90 miles an hour. 11% with a slider, and a lot of changeups. He loves his changeup. He throws it about 35% of the time.
Romine leads it off, and there's a bender that drops in. Strike 1.
75 miles an hour with that changeup.
Slings one in there for strike 2. Hildenberger out of Cal Berkeley. 22nd round pick, pitching in the big leagues. Swing and a miss, and he made quick work of Mr. Romine.
Yeah, he did.
One gone in the 7th. Romy not happy with that at bat. That'll bring up Iglesias. Always wondered how difficult it is, Rod, to face a guy that comes from this angle, because really, how many guys in the big leagues throw from this angle? Not many.
Not many at all. And a handful of right-handers, more lefties than righties. But we're starting to see more and more right-handers adopt this same type of delivery. Everything moving, nothing straight.
He worked quick. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off.
Got a lot of movement on that two-seamer, especially throwing from that arm slot.
Made his major league debut in June. He is the first twin from the 2014 draft to get to the big leagues. And a strike in the outer edge.
Boy, you would think that some guys that were drafted higher than Hildenberger would have made it to the big leagues before him.
That's what's surprising. 22nd round. He's the first guy out of that draft. The 1-2 sails outside.
He loves his changeup, so more than likely Iglesias will get one here. He throws it 35% of the time.
We talk about altering your batting stance based on who's out on the mound. What would you do? How would you approach your stance or approach against a guy from this angle?
Well, I move up a little bit closer toward him because he throws that built-in sinker, and I try to catch it before it dips.
Little chopper back up the middle. Going to have to hurry. Dozier's quick throw. Got him by half a step. 2 gone.
It's a nice play here by Dozier. He's doing it all today. And a couple of knocks, scored a run, and a real nice defensive play.
Here is Kinsler. Ian looking for his first hit tonight. Pop-up strikeout, ground out for Kinsler. Little chopper up the middle. Going to be a tough play. And it's going to get through. Base hit. A seeing-eyed single there for Kinsler.
Even if that ball's fielded cleanly, I don't think Polanco or the second baseman Dozier would have been able to throw out Ian. He runs too well.
Here's Matuk. Room to the right side of the infield for Mikey. Homer and a walk in this game tonight. Strike 1.
Hildenberger throws from underneath, and he throws from the third base side of the rubber, but still able to get that ball away from the arm side to the outside corner with really nice strike precision. Same type of pitch.
One and one on Matuk. 7-3. We're in the 7th. Twins have the lead. Missed outside again. Everything has been away. Here's the 2-1. Chopper up the middle. That one's going to find a hole. Now the Tigers have something going here with Upton coming up. Second hit of the night for Mikey.
Last 3 hitters, the Tigers have simply pounded that sinker ball right into the ground. Iglesias was thrown out on a fine play by the second baseman, but Montauk and Kinsler hit the ball in the same spot. And Justin Upton has been outstanding this year with runners in scoring position. He's been the Tigers' best.
RBI single back in the 5th to give the Tigers a run.
360 with runners in scoring position for Jay Up. That's 6th best in the American League.
Two on now with 2 outs. Hildenberger got 2 quick outs and then singles up the middle for Kinsler and Montauk.
And now they're back to playing Justin Upton a different way with 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. He wouldn't beat the shift by going past where the second baseman should be, would he?
I'd love to see it.
He beat the shift last time up. Might as well go ahead and shoot one right there in that direction. They're giving it to him.
And they're pitching him that way as well. Here's the 1-0. Another pitch outside. 2-0 now on Upton.
If you're Justin Upton and you're thinking about trying to drive the ball in the gap, you got to make sure you go down and get the sinker ball. You know it's going to be at the bottom of the zone and from the arm slot that Hildenberger throws from.
Right back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Kinsler coming around to score. J.F. does it again. It's an RBI single. 3 straight hits. And it's 7-4. Now the tying run coming up.
Now here's our bell tire pitch by pitch. Justin Upton did a marvelous job of getting himself into a fastball friendly count. He took the first pitch off the plate outside, second one as well, and he got himself a 2-0 fastball. Didn't try to do too much with it. Simply took that 89-mile-per-hour fastball, hit it right back past a diving second baseman, and Brian Dozier for another RBI. And that batting average with runners in scoring position just went up a tick for Jay Up.
Now Cabrera, the tying run at the plate. And Miggy looks at a strike. That time he spun one right over the heart of the plate. He had stayed away from Upton with a couple of pitches. Cabrera 2 flyouts and a ground out. The 0-1. Ground ball foul, third base side, 0-2. Crowd getting back into it now. 3 straight Tigers hits. Now Hildenberger steps off and Castro coming out to the mound. Time the Twins raced down to a big lead tonight, the Tigers have been able to chip away. Taylor Rogers, the left-hander, tuning up. Slow roller toward third. And Cabrera is out to end the inning. Tigers get a run though. 7 in the books. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com to see why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Sparty in the house tonight. Michigan State night here at the ballpark. Our university days. And the Tigers right now down by 3, 7-4 as we go to the top of the 8th. Alex Wilson's still out there. Miguel Sano will lead things off, and ball 1 bounces in. Sano, Rosario, Escobar in the top of the 8th. Anibal Sanchez went 5 innings tonight, gave way to Stump, and then Wilson in the 7th. And a big swing there.
Yeah, Sano not trying to hit a single there with that 87-mile-per-hour slider. How about that chain he's got on his neck? You see how big that thing is?
It's huge. But he's a big man, though.
Yeah, he is. That thing would weigh our necks down.
Here's the 1-1. Went out there again, and once again, same result.
You get him a couple of more of those, and you know what he'll have, right?
Yeah, Mr. T starter kit. Or it could be the full collection. Who knows? Yeah, Sano can wear anything he wants as far as the Twins are concerned.
They'll throw that slide piece out away from him again, see if you can get him to strike out one more time.
Sano has fanned 156 times now on the year, with his 2 here tonight, but he's hit 25 homers and knocked in 72.
Everything away, away, away against Sano.
Swing and a miss, same location, and Sano just can't hit that pitch. Located beautifully. That's going to be it for Wilson.
You see the slider grip, and you see him release it out in front. When you release it out in front, you get this kind of action and depth on that slide piece, and that's the 3rd time tonight that Miguel Sano has punched out.
Brad coming out, and he will take the baseball from Wilson. And as he departs, we'll be back. Pitching change here at Comerica. Has had a big evening, 2 out of 4 single homer and 3 RBIs. J-Up has knocked in 2 for the Tigers this evening. But the deficit is 7-4 as we play here in the 8th inning. Chad Bell coming out of the bullpen now for the Tigers.
And Bell pitching in his 17th game for the Tigers. He's pitched 75 in the 3rd inning. He has quite a few strikeouts, 30 punch outs in the 35 innings that he's worked, and he's walked 14.
Lefty Eddie Rosario stands in, looks at ball one. 3-run homer for Rosario off Sanchez in the fourth. Anibal gave up 2 long balls in this game. And Rosario flares that one foul.
And Chad Bell has all 4 pitches. The fastball will top out at about 95. Average heater pretty much 92, 93. He throws the slider about 20% of the time. He's got a curveball. He uses that quite a bit along with the changeup. So Bell, although working on the bullpen, also uses 4 pitches.
Rosario came into this game batting .280 against left-handed pitching. It's pretty good. Trying to get something started here with 1 gone in the 8th. This is the start of a 3-game weekend set here for these 2 ball clubs. It'll pop up back a short. It is sinking quick. It's going to drop. A looping single for Rosario. A 3-hit game now for Eddie. Fans, MLB.com and Pat is your #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Tigers home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today. Eduardo Escobar now with 1 out. Lined out to the shortstop in his last at bat. It's been a while since Bell appeared in a game for the Tigers, the 6th in Baltimore, and that was the game in which he had to go 3 1/3 and really did well. 3 strikeouts. One on Escobar. Buxton waiting on deck. Cleveland tonight had a near no-hitter as Carrasco took a no-hitter into the 7th in Tampa.
Whoa.
Finally had it busted up. The Indians leading that game 5-0.
That Rays team hanging around too.
They are.
In the wild card chase.
They got a big win last night against the Indians. Chopped to third. Castellanos to second. There's one. Safe at first base as Escobar beats it out. 2 away.
And ball not hit not hard enough to turn 2. But a real nice feed here by Castellanos to Ian Kinsler. Hit him right in the chest. It's a perfect feed. Escobar runs too well to turn it over, though.
Here is Buxton. Byron, 2 strikeouts and a pop-up.
Anytime Buxton hits the ball on the ground as an infielder, because this guy is probably the fastest player in the big leagues, you got to get rid of it in a hurry because he is flying down that first base line.
Who you got in a race, Billy Hamilton or Byron Buxton?
Well, I haven't seen a whole lot of Hamilton, so I just take Buxton. That's a bad play right there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're winning by 3. It's the top half of the 8th. You got a runner on first base, and it's 2 outs. And you're going to bunt him in the scoring position. He has the ability to hit the ball in the gaps.
A little bit of pop for Buxton. 5 home runs this year, hit 10 last year. Byron was the second overall pick in his draft. That was the 2012 draft, right behind Carlos Correa.
I've heard of him. He's pretty good.
He is a really good player for the Astros, shortstop. Another throwback. Buxton, knees bent, waits on the 0-1. Way high, would not chase that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Byron had a pretty good series against Milwaukee, 5 for 13 in that series they swept against the Brewers. Twins team rod as well that I guess they can kind of wait on Buxton's bat because he brings so much defensively to this team.
And they've invested a lot. I mean, they're going to wait on him. They're going to give him every opportunity to figure out how to have some better plate appearances on a nightly basis. He's got a wealth of talent. I mean, a lot of talent.
Always been a truism in baseball. The players that have been highly invested in seem to get a little bit more opportunity.
That much is for certain. The organization never wants to give up on a player that has this kind of talent, because the last thing that you would want is for this player to somehow wake up in somebody else's uniform and start to beat up on you. Tigers are seeing a little bit of that with Mikey Montauk. They basically got him for nothing. And Mikey Montauk now playing center field for the Tigers, and it appears that Mikey might be one of those late bloomers. He was the #1 draft choice out of college, so he was good anyway. But now he's playing his best baseball. It takes the athlete sometimes a little longer.
I think the Tigers identified with Montauk as well that he was injured much of last year, so that kind of slowed him down. But he showed promise in his rookie season.
Tigers like Mikey when he came out of LSU, when the Tampa Bay Rays made him their #1 draft choice. He was on the Tigers board as well.
Runner will go on 3-2, and it's pounded foul back out of play.
We were talking about Buxton's speed, and he shows some of this speed right here in center field. As we promised you earlier, and I set up for you, which one we gonna do here? Oh, we got the base running.
It's still good running.
I thought we were going to do that play earlier, but this base running play right here was spectacular earlier in the year by Buxton.
Ground ball, nice play. Iglesias, quick throw off the back. Quick throw to third is going to be in time. Ooh, Tigers catch a break there. Escobar tried to get to third. He's gunned down on a good throw by Miggy. Inning over. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th.
Told you that Byron Buxton, one of the fastest players in the game, hits the ball to the shortstop and he beats it out. He gets down the line about 4 seconds. Heads up play by Miguel Cabrera, knowing that Escobar, aggressively running from first base, would try to get all the way over to third base, and Miguel Cabrera throws a strike. I mean an absolute strike across the diamond to nab Escobar.
Underrated part of Miguel's game, his accuracy in his throwing.
Miguel recognized that Buxton was going to be safe on that play, and if you saw Miguel at the tail end of that play, he kind of met that ball from Iglesias almost on the grass, with his almost momentum carrying him toward third base. Nice job by Miggy.
Here come the Tigers now as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Castellanos lays it off. Nick is 1 for 3 in this game.
Here's one more look. Take a look at Miguel Cabrera as this ball starts to get toward first base. He recognizes that he's going to be safe, so he comes off the bag. And he's already thinking about throwing that ball toward third base. He's on the grass already. Just really nice heads-up play by the Tigers' first baseman. Castellanos has led off quite a few times here today. 3 of his 4 plate appearances have been leadoff today.
Now he's down 0-2. Taylor Rogers is the new Minnesota pitcher.
Make that 2 of his 3 plate appearances today for Nicholas Castellanos. He's led off the inning.
Last time the Tigers saw Rogers, it was a Gibson start as well when he came on, gave up a 3-run homer late to Justin Upton. Cued the other way and just foul. That would have been a good start.
A couple more points and pick the stick. That'd have been a double.
New bat for Nick. Tigers in this one have been out hit 13-8 as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pulled foul. He was on front. Gibson, the starter, went 4 2/3, could not complete 5 innings. Presley came on for 1 1/3. Hildenberger in the 7th, and now Rogers here in the 8th. The Twins bullpen without Brandon Kinsler these days. He would trade it at the deadline, so their closer is no longer with them. Fouled away.
I don't think we've seen one red dot all night tonight.
That's a good point. Red dot meaning 95 and above.
Yep. And usually on most nights, I mean, that strike zone is full of red dots. Not tonight, though.
Slice to right field. Here comes Kepler. It's a fair ball. And Kepler quickly gets it back in. It's a leadoff single for Castellanos.
Where was Kepler playing Castellanos? I mean, he had to be playing him right on the line for him to get over there and to make that play on 1 bounce to prevent Nicholas from getting another extra base hit. Well, he is shading him over there, and this ball bounces 1 time, and Kepler over there to make a play.
Kicked up paint, and now the Tigers have the leadoff man on for Victor Martinez. Tigers had their 9th hit of the game. Victor looks at a strike, 0-1.
Mar, have you ever met the little man down there, Alfred?
I think I met him once.
And one of the bat boys for the Tigers, works in the clubhouse. He is going to college on Monday. He is going to Kentucky.
Kentucky is.
Kentucky. He's going to college on Monday. So this is one of the last weekends for Alfred here.
You know what he's studying?
He did tell me what he. Oh, something to do with broadcasting.
Really?
Yes, yes. Because I told him don't be coming for my job.
So we got about another 4 years, then we're out.
Yeah. You know what I told him today? He got a kick out of it too. He's walking through the club. I was quite a few people around too, and I said, "When you leaving?" He said, "On Monday." I said, "Leave them girls alone." He got a kick out of that.
The 0-2 has popped up. Second base side for Dozier, and Victor is out of there. One gone. That'll bring up McCann. What is nothing like college, man?
That's what I hear.
It is just a
that's what I hear.
Life-changing experience. But you had a life-changing experience that you got into pro ball after high school, and you grew up quick.
Age 17. Yep. Out paying my own bills, doing everything at age 17. Really helped me later on in life. I did have somewhat of a college experience though, because all of the guys that I kind of grew up with and a lot of the athletes in my area, those guys either went to USC or UCLA, and every weekend I was on campus in the off season.
I see.
So I had some fun now.
So you had the good parts of the college experience.
I sure did.
Without having to study.
No studying.
1-0 on McCann. Single for 3 for James. 1 on, 1 out.
And in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to college. I might not have made it out of there.
Well, you've done well for yourself. You'd have made it out of there. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 now on McCann.
Yeah, real nice, friendly fastball count here for James. And you're looking for one fastball in one area, and you're looking to do some damage with it.
Hicks on deck. He'll pinch hit for Romine. Out of play, 2-1. You know, the one college I'm stunned that people ever make it out of is Pepperdine.
You're right.
With that campus on the Pacific Ocean, unreal.
Looking at the beach.
Yep.
I'm sure on many days that beach wins out over first period.
Over every period.
I'll catch you at third period.
Can fouls another one away. 2-2. Single pop-up fly out for James. 7-4. Twins lead. We're in the 8th. Rogers coming on here in the 8th, giving up a single, but getting Martinez to pop up. That'll get away, and it'll advance the runner.
Second wild pitch of the night, uncorked by Twins pitching. Kyle Gibson, their starter, also uncorked a wild pitch today while he was in there. Yeah, really nothing that Castro could do.
Well, Tigers trying to chip away now. Let's see if they can get this run in from second. Ball high. And now McCann gets a walk, and now you bring up Hicks as the tying run. And Neil Allen's going to come out. Tyler Duffy is tuning up in their bullpen. And you got Hicks up there now who can pop one out of the ballpark.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Now, earlier in the ball game, Miguel Cabrera jumped on a 93-mile-per-hour fastball, hit it straight away center field, and Byron Buxton Man, he got on his horse. He actually turned the wrong way, but able to recover and made a spectacular play. But he makes spectacular plays on a nightly basis.
Well, the Tigers have not had a pinch hit home run this season. This would be a lovely spot for one.
Hicks, in his limited time that he's had in the big leagues this year, he has done very well. 309 with 4 homers. He's driven in 15. And he's also done very well against Twins pitching. He's hitting .500 against Minnesota. 5 for 10.
And he will bat against Romine, or for Romine, against the lefty Rogers. And a ball outside, 1-0. Hicks .316 with men in scoring position this year. Two on, 1 out. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
A good rip there by Hicks on that 93-mile-per-hour fastball. You can't say enough about the work that guys like Matuk and Hicks and Adushi have done this year.
Presley,
guys that have come up from the minors.
Swing and a miss. When you think about it, in April and May, when JD was out of the lineup, a lot of these guys kind of picked up the workload for him.
Yeah, a lot of the credit needs to go to Brian Harper, the AAA hitting coach for the Mud Hens, who had all these guys hitting in the minor leagues, and then once he turned them over to Lloyd McClendon and Leon Bull Durham, they just continued that same process.
Just missed inside. The count levels now at 2s.
Of course, most of the changes were made with Matuk at this level with Lloyd and Bull.
Rogers about to throw his 20th pitch.
And missing the strike zone with quite a few of them.
Fly ball right field. Kepler going back, still going, leaps, and he made the catch. What a play. The throw to third now, and out there at third base is Castellanos.
Nick shouldn't have went. Once the ball was caught, Nick tried to get back to tag, but way too late.
And just like that, the threat is over. How about that to end the inning? Let's go to the 9th. So the Tigers are down 3 in the 8th inning. They've got something brewing. That's exactly what can't happen when you're trying to rally your way back into a ball game.
Keith, you're absolutely right. That just can't happen with Nick Castellanos getting doubled off there. I understand the aggressiveness. Didn't think Max Kepler was going to catch the baseball. He made an outstanding play, but Castellanos has to stay at second base, or he has to go back to second right away to make sure that he doesn't get doubled off. That can't happen trying to get back into a game.
It'll be one of the topics that we addressed when Tigers Live comes your way, and we will also carry The fireworks on a Friday night here at the ballpark. Tigers live immediately after the ninth. Back we go to Mario and Rod, guys.
All right, Keats, thank you. As we go to the ninth inning, the Twins coming up here now against Bell, who's still out there.
You know, that particular play right there, and Simo described it perfectly. What Castellanos should have done is should have known that they were playing no doubles depth, which meant Kepler was playing very deep. So anything hit deep was going to be caught, and had he known that, he would have been able to go back and tag immediately, and he would have been able to score had the ball dropped.
Meanwhile, there's a base hit for Polanco to get things started here in the ninth inning. That'll be his second hit of the night. Well, the throw out at third base kind of overshadows a really good catch there by Kepler.
Yes, it was a good catch. He was playing very deep. That ball looked like it was going to get off the wall in right field, but he jumped up and got it before it got to the wall, and heads up getting the ball to the second baseman to get an assist.
Jim Adduci is the new right fielder for the Tigers. Castro is up there.
Here's one more play. You can see Nick, he kind of didn't know exactly what to do. Then he finally got back and then took off. Well, got back and tagged up twice, actually.
Well, I didn't realize he tagged twice.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh, and 1 on Castro. Little chopper to the right side. Miggy comes up throwing. They'll go to second. One there. Relay. Not in time. Bell covering. They nearly turned 2 on that.
Well, it's a nice firm free feed by Miguel Cabrera, grabbing that one hopper, and he fired a C to Iglesias, and that gave Iglesias enough time to get out of the way of the base runner and also get a firm throw back toward first base.
Here's Dozier. He's had a good night. RBI, 2 hits, 2 runs scored. He's had a triple and a single. Ball 1 to Dozier.
You don't see many teams where the leadoff hitter leads their team in homers.
No.
And that's what Dozier did last year, and he has a legitimate chance of leading their team in homers again. He has 22. Sano has 25 right now as we speak.
Matt Belisle warming up in their bullpen, taking over for Kinsler as their closer.
He's been good in that role since he inherited.
Ball 2 on Dozier. Kepler waiting on deck. We're in the ninth, 7-4. Twins have the lead here in game 1. Three and 0.
Don't know if Brian wants to swing here. 3 balls, no strikes in the top half of the 9th inning, but he clearly has the green light to do so if he wants. His manager has enough trust in him to let him decide that.
Ball 4. Wasn't close. It'll be a walk. That'll put 2 on now with 1 out. Here is the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. It's going to be Jose Barrios tomorrow for the Twinkies and Jordan Zimmerman for the Tigers. Barrios, pretty good season, 10-5.
Yeah, well, we have not seen him good, but he's been good most of this year. We saw him a little bit last year. Tigers hit him around a little bit, but he's pitching well now. And Jordan, his last few starts, he's thrown the ball as well as we've seen him throw the ball since last April.
That was the first walk for Tigers pitching in this game. Here's Kepler. 3 RBI night for Kepler. Ball 1.
I don't know if he pitched around Dozier to get to the two left-handers here, but it kind of looks like that to me. He didn't throw Dozier one strike to go after the left-hander Kepler, and then of course Joe Mauer is in the on-deck circle.
In there, a strike called, 1-1. Kepler is, let's see, 128 against lefties. And Mauer is 219.
Kepler's had a nice day. Homer. Real nice defensive play. Last half inning.
Bouncing ball left side, base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third base as Upton comes up with it. The bases are loaded. Kepler goes the other way.
Wow, what a nice piece of hitting by Kepler. I mean, he had an idea that that ball was going to be away from him, and he just played pepper with it. Just slapped it the opposite way through the hole.
It's a 3-hit night. Twins now have 15 hits, and Mauer trying to tack on some insurance runs.
The Twins are playing a little bit differently than the Twins team that we had watched pretty much all year. Remember that situation we were talking about, Mauer, when he likes to swing at the first pitch?
Yeah, right here, you think?
Mm-hmm.
352 with the bases loaded, career. And he'll take, that was way outside. 1-0. They're loaded up. Castro, Dozier, Kepler. 12 of the 15 hits tonight for the Twins are singles. Oh. 1-1. Bell took over in the 8th. And now here in the 9th has some traffic. They're loaded up. Ball 2. After Mauer is Miguel Sano.
This game was moving along at a pretty good pace early. It's kind of slowed down the last 3 innings. Lots of pitches being thrown, lots of pitching changes, lots of bases, lots of traffic on the bases as well.
Lined up the middle into center field, a base hit, 1 run scores. They're going to get 2 runs in. Kepler's going to get the 3rd. It's a 2-run single for Joe Mauer.
And a couple of pretty good at-bats here by a couple of left-handers that weren't particularly doing well against left-handed pitching this year, and Kepler and Mauer, and both singles successfully.
That'll make it a 9-4 game. It's going to bring Brad Ausmus out, so the 2 lefties get hits. 2 RBIs for Mauer. Another pitching change. Joe Jimenez coming in. We'll be back.
Off the bat of Joe Mauer, he drives in 2, and he has 3 hits tonight. He had 3 hits last night. Not a lot of moving parts in that swing for Joe Mauer. He tracks the baseball all the way until it gets to the bat. Head straight down, right back up the middle for a couple RBI.
Joe Jimenez coming out of the bullpen now for the Tigers to take over.
And Jimenez in 7 games, 5 2/3, 11 earned runs he's given up. He's much better than that. He's pitched very well down in the minor leagues, but for whatever reason, when he's gotten an opportunity up here, Joe hasn't fared very well. But he's still very young and a lot of upside.
Sano swings and misses. There's his slider away that's gotten Sano all night.
Well, if you look at his hot and cold zone where they continue to pitch him, it's one of his cold areas. Most guys are cold down and away, but Sano continues to swing at that pitch that he can't hit.
He has struck out 3 times tonight. He also has a single.
And Sano came into this contest leading the American League in strikeouts with 154. You see that cold zone down there at 164 down here. That's where they continue to pitch him with those breaking balls down and away. He continues to swing at him. He just can't lay off of him. You can actually pitch him inside too, but you better get it in there.
Missed it low, 2-1. Still only 1 out in the inning. And the Twins now have 16 hits.
Yeah, Sano will ground into a few double plays. 11 of those to be exact. It's exactly what Jimenez needs, is that ground ball.
Three and one. Eddie Rosario waiting on deck.
He's already homered today. 3-run variety.
Three-two. Jimenez made his major league debut against these Twins back on the 13th of April, way back early in the season. Had a scoreless inning. Struck out Byron Buxton for his first major league hitter. Tigers minor league pitcher of the year last year. A lot of is expected from Mr. Jimenez, who's been great in the minor leagues. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out again with that slider away in Sano, man.
Well, able to nail that cold zone. We just showed you where he has a cold zone, which is down and away, and a real nice job by Jimenez. He threw him a 3-1 breaking ball in this area right here, and he came right back with a 3-2 pitch in that same exact area. Slide piece at 86. 4 strikeouts.
4 indeed for Sano. Here is Rosario.
And Jimenez not out of the woods yet.
Eddie chops one back up the middle. Iglesias crossing the bag, throws him out to end the inning. 2 more runs in. We go to the bottom of the 9th. FansMLB.com and Pat is your #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Tigers home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Tyler Duffy coming out of the bullpen now. Last call for the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the ninth.
And Duffy's got a really good curveball. He likes his curveball a bunch. You have low 90s fastball and a curveball. Mostly the two pitches that he will feature. 54 strikeouts in 41 games for Duffy, so he's been piling up some strikeouts.
Tigers have Iglesias, Kinsler, and Matuk here in the ninth inning. Iggy with a double and an RBI in 3 at-bats. They had their closer Belisle warming up, but the 2-run single by Mauer made it a 9-4 game, so Duffy comes in. Here is Iglesias to get it started. Iggy looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Low ball 2. Rolled foul, 2-1 now. Tyler Duffy made 26 starts last year, but exclusively out of the bullpen this year.
Yeah, Tigers saw him a couple times last year. Good curveball.
2-1. Sliced back up the middle, but caught by Dozier. 1 gone.
But since watching Duffy work out of the bullpen this year, as you mentioned exclusively, he's not throwing that curveball as much as he did as a starter.
ERA is a starter last year, 6.43 in 26 starts. He did win 9 games.
He's got a lot of run support.
Yeah. Now Ian, who had a single and scored a run in the 7th, he is 1 for 4. Fly ball toward right, slicing though.
A lot of offense tonight for the Minnesota Twins. 2 hits by their leadoff hitter, 3 by their number 2 hitter, 3 more for Mauer, the number 3 hitter. Top of the lineup today. 8 hits.
Twins trying to win their 6th in a row. The last time he did that was August of 2015.
Yeah, Twins are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. And before tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals had won 6 in a row, but no one hotter than the Los Angeles Dodgers. That team out there is just rolling right now. And they're doing it without Kershaw, and they're also doing it without Adrian Gonzalez, their first baseman.
About to say the same thing, especially without Kershaw, which I guess speaks to their depth as a team.
They say that they have really been able to manipulate that little 10-day disabled list that this year. They've got about a 35-man roster that's just been circulating all season long. I don't think baseball intended for teams to use that 10-day disabled list the way they have this year.
Kinsler rolls out to the shortstop Polanco, 2 away. It certainly makes it easier when it's a 10-gamer as opposed to a 15-gamer.
Well, there's times where a starter will pitch a game and then you will simply give him 10 days off, and really he's only missing 1 start.
Right. Stick around. Fireworks coming up on Tigers Live postgame. Here is Matuk, the last chance for the Tigers. Mikey showing no signs of slowing down. Homer walks single in this game.
Well, we heard this Minnesota team was playing very good baseball and kind of clicking on all cylinders, running the bases well, playing good defense, stealing bases, getting good pitching. They've done all of that here tonight. Not so much from their starter, but their bullpen for the 2nd consecutive night has done yeoman's work for Paul Molitor.
2-0. Fly ball right field should do it. Kepler is there, and the Twins win game 1 of the series 9-4. And after this short break, we'll send you to the Call Sam Studios. Chad Keating standing by with Tigers live post game.